shit.
I know you all are probably.
Hello.
Hello again, Mover.
You're muted. Did you mute yourself?
I muted myself, dude.
Look, dude.
Rookie.
We're in a PIO here.
I'm not used to 2 days.
Yeah, it's double turning today. We got we traded one Eurofighter Typhoon pilot for another.
Ammo,
Hello,
welcome,
Ammo.
man.
What up, Uber? How's it going, Gonky?
Uh-oh.
Doug, you're over there somewhere. Oh, can you not hear me?
We're secure. We're half quick.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll just roll with it.
Okay.
We'll figure it out eventually, probably, hopefully.
Could be.
Doug, did you do all the things?
I didn't do anything. I'm hands-off controls because you said so.
Hey, Gonky, nice beard, man. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, man, I know. The beard was supposed to come off this weekend, but
I'm telling you, dude, it's uncanny.
Since I can't fly airplanes to make money, I moonlight as an actor on the side. So
You look like a great value Keanu Reeves.
like the Dollar General version.
Yeah, Timu. The Timu.
I'm the stunt double, dude.
Yeah, that's why you're broken.
Correct.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, man.
Well,
How are
we
you,
got a
Mover?
show.
You're smooth shaven. How was your weekend, sir?
Listen, dude, I've given up on the beard. The military obligations have been too much, and I can't grow a mustache like Ammo.
I was gonna say Ammo's in the military, and he's got a really nice Robin Olds-ish dash going.
Gonna honor the patron saint of fighter pilots this month.
Yeah. So you're the only one kind of in non-compliance, sir.
Listen, I don't know.
I know you're lucky to be here. Me too.
Yeah. Long and distinguished. There's people that are watching us, and I have to remember that. I often forget
Yeah, me too.
people actually watch this show.
Yeah.
So
It's my main reason for not having a camera.
yeah. Well, thank you, Douglas, for that.
Oh,
How you been, Doug? We didn't get to talk to you. You weren't on the early show, so welcome.
That's true. I was out there doing my day job. Thank you for the welcome.
Yeah,
He's
we
not
missed-
happy. There's a little stab at the pay rate, Mover. We're gonna have to do something about that.
We don't get paid.
You gotta have 2 jobs, I guess, to do this.
All right,
Gonky
all right.
show.
Yeah, so do we.
Well, I actually have more than 2 jobs, but yes. So,
How many of those pay, Gonky?
yeah, well, it depends on the month. Yeah, it's a tweener, man. Have you demonetized us or not? That's the question.
You? What do you mean you? Anyway, ammo.
Mover.
Heard you're doing some flying these days.
Yeah, flying the mighty Cessna 182 Skylane.
Is it glass
Support.
cockpit or steam gauged?
It is glass cockpit, so got that going for it. Yeah,
How fast does she go?
a screaming 125 knots indicated.
What's rotation speed on the Typhoon or the Raptor? About that?
If you're in full reheat, as the Brits say, you're looking at about like 112, 115 knots or something.
That's crazy.
Normal takeoff, if I remember, it's about 145, 150 knots, something like that, for the Typhoon.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Raptor's pretty close to that. Yeah.
Huh.
So-
You see?
Only
So
only
we-
minor differences between the
We
Cessna.
need a video of you taking off with the 182 and failing to catch up with it.
No, you got to do
No, wait, the other way
racing
around. Yeah.
like Gonky does on his channel, where T38 races. You should do one Cessna 182 races Raptor.
Wouldn't be much of a race, man.
Could do that in MSFS,
Yeah.
couldn't you?
You could probably.
I would be killed instantly by the jet wash from the Raptor. It would just go. Meow.
What a way to go!
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
That's
That's
valid.
awesome.
what a way to go!
No, we had a good interview, man. It was really cool to talk to it's not Smurf. Scarf.
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 Yeah.
Sorry, Scarf.
Please.
I
Do
hostily
not create an
renamed you to Smurf.
international incident.
There I go. And we're
Gonky,
7 minutes in the
you're
show,
like,
and I'm already.
We interviewed this guy from the small country of Germany. His name was Smurf.
No. He was dude. The Emma, you'd appreciate it since you've flown the airplane. But like to me, as a Hornet guy who has a plethora of AOA but lacks thrust, like to hear him talk about him fighting an F-16 in a Typhoon, where he was like, "Yeah, the lack of thrust in the F-16." I'm just like,
Yeah, he's,
like what?
Yeah.
What?
when he was talking about he trapped me into his game plan of getting slow, and I'm like, a Viper?
Right.
You don't do that here.
Right. I should have asked him what is slow. You
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah, define slow.
yeah. It was wild, man, to listen to him to talk like that about the F-16 for me specifically, since I've experienced the F-16 myself. So, but it was super cool, man.
Is there a big difference between the UK version and the German version, or is it same aeroplane?
Pretty same. Maybe some differences in the software standard. So BAE does a lot of those software updates for the Typhoon. So maybe the UK has a little bit of exclusive access. So, no, I think I'm sure someone's going to bash me in the comments for that. And I know that it's a consortium that manages and upkeeps the Typhoon, but there's definitely some differences in the software. Now I've heard that the Germans have experimented with, I don't know if they fielded it, but a flight control modification where it increases the amount of alpha that you have available on the German Typhoons, which would be nice. That's something I would put on my wish list. I'd put on my wish list better or higher alpha available and a AESA radar, which that is going to get fielded hopefully later this decade.
This decade. Well, I mean, it's 2025, so that's not much time left.
That's right. I didn't realize they had a mech radar in that thing.
It's the world's premier mech scan radar.
Is that's it?
Yes.
That's exactly how I was introduced to you in ground school, wasn't it? It's like,
Word for word, verbatim.
okay.
I just didn't do the accent.
No,
The
it's
world
perfect.
needs ditch diggers too.
That's right. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, I don't
We
know.
had fun. We had
Yeah.
fun. We enjoyed it, and we enjoy you, Ammo. So welcome back. Thank you
Thanks
for
for having
joining
me
us.
back.
I feel like we're moving on to new adventures, having 2 shows in one day.
Yeah, dude, that's I'm not gonna lie. It's it definitely puts a demand on the day. My wife is like, "So how many times are we doing this 2 a day?" I'm like,
Twice. It's literally in the name, 2 a day.
"No, I mean," she's like, "Is next week gonna be like this?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta talk to my boss."
The North American Treaty Organization and the House of Gonky.
That's that's the American version of NATO.
Did you hear
bro.
this story, Emma?
Oh, here we go. Okay.
I'm talking.
Is this when Scarf said the North American Treaty Organization?
No, that's
Or
when
is this something else?
Gonky.
Is it, yes,
Gonky.
Ammo,
Oh.
you're right. You're right, Ammo.
Okay.
But it was an inside. It was a.
About Smurf
It was an inside joke.
Gonky. Yeah, Gonky's like, well, without the U.S., it's just toe. And I said, what is it that you think NATO means, Gonky? He's like, well, the North American Treaty Organization. I said, close, but no.
Ammo,
This
I
ain't
am a
the news or
red-blooded,
nothing.
true American, self-centered fighter pilot, bro. It's all
NAFTA.
about me.
NAFTA.
I should have called it the Naval Aviator Treaty Organization.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Okay. To be fair, Gonky didn't call it that, so I think we should give him a little bit of grace for that.
I think that works just fine.
Can never get any grace with Mover, Ammo. He just rolls right in on you, dude. Guns a-blazing, Mad Dog and AMRAMs the whole way, dude. It's like,
Because you'll do that to me. You bully me a lot, Gonky, and I think it's time we start talking about that.
I've been known to shoot a bogey or two.
Yeah, they're supposed to be bandits, hostile.
Whatever. See what I'm saying?
You're shooting bogeys. They're not.
Dude, forward to my 3-9 line.
You're $5.
I'm looking up something for Gonky here.
Uh-oh. Dude, don't fact check me, for God's sakes.
Real-time fact-checking for Gonky. Wicked Spider Black says, hi, all round 2. I'm
I saw
happy.
something neat here. Sorry, you kind of see that. That is
That's
a
awesome.
Brit. That is a Brit exchange pilot who used to fly the Typhoon. I used to fly Typhoons with him, and he had his first carrier trap in the Growler today.
Tremor?
No, he goes by Triss.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you would have. I don't know if you would have run into him. I don't know if I can say his full name here.
Yeah. No, I'm
Don't
too
do
old,
that.
man.
Don't dox the people. Yeah,
I'm
Gonky.
too old.
No way you know.
Not gonna talk.
You don't know people. Asat Akar
Hey,
from the
from Turkey.
hello
Yeah.
from the great huge big country called Turkey. Gonky, remember, it's not about size; it's how you use it. Thank you for awesome show.
Oh, that's what us Asians say all the time.
We don't even have to make jokes. The chat does it for us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Laura
much.
B watching Twitch says we don't need fact checking. This ain't the news or nothing. Tell that to the comment section.
That's true, man. We've been getting some major heat with us being a news channel mover, but we're not really a news channel.
No, we have no deep intel. We have no shallow intel. We have no levels of intel on this show.
Yeah, we read the intel literally live and then just react to it as we would if we were sitting at the bar or the ready room in a squadron with our boots up on the chair just kicking back.
Hey, speaking of kicking back, Wombat's throwing spears from the cheap seats.
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday, Wombat.
Uh-oh.
Happy birthday, dude. He
Happy
shares
birthday,
a birthday with another man when they've never been seen together at the same time. Charles Norris.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is Chuck Norris's birthday today.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Hopefully, Emma, you just didn't get us demonetized.
Oops.
Chuck
Sorry.
Yeager, dude, not
Ah,
Norris.
thanks, mover.
Well, then why'd you set it up like that's you? You don't enunciate.
That's true. I don't. But yeah, happy birthday, Wombat.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Wombat.
Yeah. Ammo, we'll keep working on your audio, man. I don't know what's going on. People are.
Oh no.
It's probably the Chinese not wanting us to talk about cool stuff.
No. All right. I'll try to make some adjustments here. Still bad.
Yes.
Yeah, you're definitely secure.
Should I?
Yeah.
All right. I can't say the brand name of these headphones, so I will. I won't get you demonetized. But should I go to Bluetooth?
Yes.
You can try it, yeah, man.
I'd try that. I would try whatever. All right. We'll see you in a minute. We'll let him do that while he's in the backstage. Bad intelligence.
Ah, there he is. Yeah, bad intelligence. Yeah.
Made America might. Happy birthday, Wombat.
Yeah.
So anyway, Gonky,
Yes, sir.
we've got some things to talk about.
Yeah, man. We do.
Wow.
We got a couple things to talk about.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to talk about first? The Bonanza?
Yeah, we can. I just saw
Doug's
this
topic. Doug,
Yeah,
you bring that up.
Doug threw a topic in here, so let's. I haven't looked at it. I think Blanco Lirio did I think I saw he put something out about this earlier, but I did not have time to watch it. Sorry.
If you want the real news on this, go see Blanco Lirio's channel.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say he knows more.
He gets you the details. We just react to. Oh man.
I'm sorry. Was I supposed to talk about it?
No.
Yeah, I mean, you know more than we do.
I don't know much. It crashed in the parking lot of an apartment, and apparently there were 4 people on board. And last I knew, no fatalities, which is the most important part of the story.
Well, so
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say what I got from a viewer, Irene. Thank you, Irene, for emailing me. She said this happened this afternoon in a jurisdiction that she ran EMS for. She left a while back. It came down in a parking lot of a retirement village and nursing homes across the street from the airport. Unconfirmed that the pilot said he needed to return immediately. He had the door open, which I think the audio exists.
Yes, it does.
Tracking showed that it took off 3 minutes prior. There's other photos, unconfirmed reports of 2 class 4 patients and 2 critically burned. What does that mean? 5 people on board? Oh, is Ammo back?
I think so.
Ammo, is that you? No, he's completely muted now.
Now you're completely muted, man.
You're gonna have to change your audio. Well, see, go into the settings and change the audio source to the new source.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I saw a little bit about this, how he took off, and like you said, he had the door. He told ATC had the door was open, he needed to come back.
Didn't that happen in Florida with a crash where the door opened and he ended up crashing?
Well, as A36 Bonanza, so he didn't say like what door, and I don't know. I haven't dove too far into this, but there's a rather large door in the back, and then there's one up front. I mean, I've flown GA a lot, and I've never had a door come open in flight, but I don't know why a door coming open in a Bonanza would necessarily cause him to crash unless he was fiddling with it, trying to shut it or whatever, and he crashed the airplane. I mean, Ammo, you there?
How about now?
Yeah.
Are we no longer half quick? Are we?
You're perfect.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your beautiful voice.
Ammo,
All right.
Amazing.
Have you ever been in a Cessna or general aviation airplane and had the door come open?
I've had the window pop open.
And did it cause
And that
any
scares
issues?
you. It startles you because it's loud.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, what happened? But not the door. Now, didn't remember that, what was it, an RV-14 or I think it was an RV-14 that crashed in California a month ago. And
yeah, that's right.
That dude had the door pop open on him. But we're not talking about that. We're talking. That's what I heard or what I read. That they took off and something was wrong with the latch mechanism and the door popped open while he was on departure, and he just, as he was circling back around to do the emergency landing, he just stalled it and spun in.
Yeah.
It's really sad, man. It's him and his daughter in there.
Well, this Bonanza, he reported the door was open. He had to come back and land. And I've had the window open in GA airplanes, and I was flying a twin Cessna, which is a big piston twin. I mean, it's a general aviation airplane, but we had the cowling come open on the engine. Well, I guess where I'm going with this is I don't think necessarily an open door would cause you to crash an airplane unless you were messing with it. And
so I found it. It wasn't the same aircraft. It was a Mooney M20. This was 2 people died in an airplane crash. Happened shortly after takeoff. They took off Northeast Florida Regional Airport in St. Augustine. They said that the pilot was attempting to return to Northeast Florida Regional following a problem with one of the doors after takeoff. Baggage door with a vertical hinge coming loose.
Yeah, so the Mooney, I mean, the M20s and stuff, yeah, the rear baggage door does open straight up. I mean, I guess like I'm saying, the Bonanza has a pretty large door in the back, the A36. So if that door came open, you might have some aerodynamic problems. But yeah.
Well, the RV-14 has a canopy that opens like a Fat Amy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. RV-14s have the front hinge canopy.
Did all 5 people perish in this thing?
No, everybody survived in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's good they survived, because that picture didn't look so good.
Doug's got the audio. Vass Aviation, which, by the way, Vass Aviation commented on our last video, so we are moving up in the world.
Thanks, man. And I heard he's working on integrating weather into his animations, man. So that'd be cool. Yeah.
He said he can do UHF too now.
Ooh. Thanks, Vass.
Yeah.
Bonanza 347 Mike, Lancaster Tower, runway 26, cleared forward, takeoff, turn right on course. 26, cleared for takeoff, turn right on course, 347 Mike.
Winds are 260, 17, gust 30. Oof.
Wow.
Lancaster Tower, Bonanza 347 Mike has an open door. We need to return for landing. 347 Mike, Roger. You want to make it to 31 or 26? Lancaster Tower, I cannot hear you with the wind, so we're going to return to 26. We're going to do downwind. 347 Mike, Roger. Runway 26, clear to land. 26, clear to land. 347 Mike. And 347 Mike. Pull up.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, dude.
Ooh.
Rescue 1, Lancaster Tower. The aircraft is down just behind the terminal on the parking lot street area.
Wow. And
Yeah.
they survived that?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that.
Rescue 1, did you copy? Rescue 1.
5 people
Rescue
got
1,
out.
did you copy?
I mean, at that point, it's off airport.
Jeez.
It's not Rescue 1. It's whoever's.
Yeah. Local.
Yeah, local fire.
Look at that thing, man. I mean,
Jeez. 5 occupant injuries were transported. Wow.
yeah. Well, hey, that's good news that they didn't. Hopefully, nobody on the ground. I missed
I
it.
think
but-
there were some burns. But man, oh man.
So he reported the door open, and I mean, they went down pretty quickly. I just wonder if they're fiddling with, like, kind of like you were saying, ammo, fiddling with the door, maybe, not flying the airplane and maybe stalled it or something. But
High gross weight, having 5 people in there, so you're already kind of.
yeah, maybe with the extra drag if it's the big door in the back. I don't.
Yeah. Wow.
That's wild, man. Yeah.
Go to
836.
Blanco.
Yeah,
if you want the actual analysis, go to Blanco Lario's channel. We're not that. We don't do that here.
We're just fighter pilots with opinions.
Yeah.
Which is basically factual, but continue.
And you see like blasted in the comments.
Carl says, "Happy birthday, Wombat! If you want to support Wombat on his birthday, go buy his book and follow him on social media. He likes those sort of kind of things. Books. Plural.
Plus, he does a lot. He does charity stuff too. So check that out. If you,
Wake for Warriors.
Yeah,
go
if you want to
support
donate
him.
to the charity stuff,
Yeah.
he's big into that.
Rastarn says, "Happy birthday from down under, Wombat."
Nice, man. Thank you.
No fatalities. Door open on takeoff. Thanks,
On
Brian.
takeoff.
For your info.
Oh man,
Amazing.
that stinks.
So that's 2 miracle crashes with no fatalities. I mean, knock on wood. Hopefully they all get out of the hospital. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Heat Seeker says, "I heard it was the rear door which opens backwards." There you go. All right. All right. So your mic's doing that same thing again. Did you switch back to the other mic? Is that what just happened?
I did. It did nothing. It did nothing. I blame Smurf. This is Smurf's revenge.
we need you for this because we're going to talk about helmets
Right.
for the Raptor.
Now we're talking
Okay.
about Raptor stuff. I was like,
Yeah,
we got
this-
ammo.
all
We
right.
got to talk about the Raptor.
We've got ammo for ammo.
Okay.
We need you.
This is
All
our
right, so
deep
for real-
intel moment. Ammo.
Yeah. This is as
All right,
close
for
as
real,
we
for
get.
real, I'm not coming through. Okay.
You're,
Still-
you're back
still
to
bad.
scratchy.
Yeah, it's like you remember the speakers that got blown out, like in the old car, like probably Gonky's Camaro. You sound like the radio in
Yeah.
Gonky's.
The
Old
6x9s, that that kind
Yeah.
of tore because they're made.
Oh,
of
yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of.
All right. I've got this other old school kind of thing that I could try next.
We'll give you a minute.
Let's-
We're going to talk about something
right.
else. Come back to that.
Dude, put on here short and sweet. Let's do the hard landing. It's
Okay.
Have you seen it yet?
I have.
You have? Okay, yeah.
Have.
This is pretty. This is pretty amazing. I mean, I've told the story on the show of me basically crashing a jet, but this is pretty wild. Can we make it large? So
That's
to
as big
speak.
as it gets.
So to speak.
Yeah. That's
This is
as
Cathay.
big.
This is Cathay Pacific Cargo 747 800. So no people.
Good so far.
Yeah, this is incredible. Like absolutely.
Didn't it like keep on going to its destination too? Like it just was like, all right, it's fine.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, she flaps her wings here in a second.
There it
Oh,
is.
dude.
Oh,
And then the nose. Oh, dude.
what's that pump stick and flare? Like all the little things that they would say in the T-38.
Dude.
Incomplete flare, pump stick and flare. Oh, look.
Dude, I watched that video several times. Like I paused it like when they touched down, and you can see like the fuselage flexing. You can see obviously the wings, they no kidding do like this pterodactyl flap. It's wild. Look at that, dude. Yeah.
Hey, you're back.
Okay, how about now?
You sound amazing again.
You sound good, dude. Yeah,
All
mean, look at this.
Oh.
Look at this thing. You just bam.
Oh,
Dude.
Did he have a tail strike there too?
did he?
Dude, did he get the two for one? He might have. Yeah, that was
No, sir.
Ooh, yeah.
ammo. I mean, she did
All right.
flex down quite a bit. So
That's like on your check ride where they're like, we don't care how you land as long as you're in the first 1,000 feet.
you're like, seriously? They're like, seriously. Okay.
Yeah. The only requirement is that 500 to 1,500 foot area.
Oh, dude, look at that, man. I mean, the outboard engines almost flapped down and touched the ground. I mean, that's
Old
and
school
then-
Boeing
and then-
engineering.
dude. The second landing is nose gear first, which
Let me point out that I'm just glad that none of my landings are being analyzed.
dude,
by
that
the
might
whole
be a tail
internet.
strike.
Let's
Look
just
at that.
point out that I'm just very fortunate that to date
Yeah.
I've not ended up on because
Wow. That's
hey, you know
awesome.
what though? The boxes don't complain.
No, yeah, I mean, it was cargo, right? I mean,
Yeah,
dude, for sure. If that was a passenger 7.4, oh, dude,
yeah, you're gonna get lawsuits,
grandma, be
Mima on the back.
broken in half.
Grandma would not have survived that one.
Look, they even had the wherewithal to put the reversers out,
No, it's
so they weren't
another-
that jarred.
No, just another day, man. I mean,
Wow.
yeah. I
Oh
mean,
God, what in the what?
Mover, I'm not sure the show is ready for 2 days. What? Ammo? Are you there? What the hell's going on? I don't- Mover, make him go back. You can't.
What just happened?
Oh,
What
are you still
what has
sideways?
happened? Why am I sideways?
I don't know, dude. Controls released, man.
What?
Dude.
I am tumbleweed right now. Help.
We know. How do
I need to go on instruments right now.
you don't know how to write
Guys,
this?
get firm cover. Get on the round dials.
This is-
Don't underfly shoot. Don't overfly bingo. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, this is funny.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm getting on the round dials. I'm getting...
God bless you, Ammo. That's the funniest thing I've heard today. Oh. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
I think the blue side is up.
There's no crying at this show, but I am crying right now. Tears of.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Have we recovered?
Yeah.
Wow, Gonky, you finally met your match
This was
with
not scripted for
technology.
the audience. This was not
Yeah.
scripted.
No, there's no way we could script that.
This is
Oh,
real.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's basically a spatial D scenario. We just
Yeah,
lived it live on.
This is live.
I'm still a bit
folks.
tumbleweed right now.
Unrehearsed and
That was
unprofessional.
That was a significant emotional event there. All right. But you can hear me.
This ain't no news or
This
nothing.
ain't the news.
This
Yeah.
ain't the news. or
It's
nothing.
quality
That's the line.
entertainment.
Well, Mover, none of these clips are gonna make it to MSN, so that's cool.
Ah, God, that was awesome. We need a best of. Somebody needs to go through and clip the best of from
What
our
are
years
the-
of service.
Yeah, one of the
This'll make it.
comments, man, was you guys need to do a best of. I'm like, that'd be a lot of work.
Dude, at least we can hear you now, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
We traded the high for the low.
We've got some peaks and valleys going on here with this.
I love
So-
it.
That's
Who-
live,
who
though,
is-
man.
Who in
All
the
right.
live stream made the comment about me having an American-made mic? Can that person start a GoFundMe for me, or something, so we can get an unnamed brand mic?
Aching Dragon says.
Thanks,
the plus side,
Aching
you sound-
Dragon. Yeah.
You sound amazing.
All right.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, that was such a Raptor thing because you were inverted.
Oh, dude.
Not
She
even
just
quite.
said red ball.
I was post stall, and
You
just
were-
kind of on the knife edge there.
Ah,
Right where
I
you
need a
wanna
minute,
be.
dude. I need a minute. I just need a minute. I got to recover.
Dude, that's funny. Yeah, my face hurts.
Yeah.
My face hurts.
Renee's talking serious stuff. Hand of God that they survived.
That's true.
We're talking back to the Bonanza
That-
now.
Yes.
Oh,
not
not
you.
my spatial D there. Oh yeah, no. I will
Yeah.
say hand of God that I survived that there because that was
Yeah.
I did not think I
Capstar.
had altitude to recover.
Ammo's issue is audio stream corruption is common on Streamlabs for many devices, most common with mobile devices. The more you know.
The more you know. That's right, man.
Renee says, welcome aboard. Ouch. Still talking about the serious stuff we're talking about, not Ammo's doing knife edge. Carl says that was priceless.
Thank you, Carl.
Nav Man says, get out of the roll, bro. You're losing altitude. No, not if you got a full boot of rudder.
That's true.
He was maintaining. The tech ghost is back in full force, says Wicked Spider Black.
Dude.
Wouldn't
be a
Lisa
good live
says
show, man.
That was worth the price of admission. Yeah, you
Yes.
never know what you're going to get on a
When it's unscripted and live, you just dude.
Yep.
and unprofessional. We do all the uns, unscripted, unprofessional.
I disagree. I would say we're very professional for a bar ready room type fighter
I
pilot
handled myself
atmosphere.
very well in that. Yeah, I had military bearing the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. we hold back a little bit.
The tears were. I don't know what it was. All right, can we please do that while we've got ammo?
Yes.
in one piece?
Yes.
Right
Can we
side up
hurry
and
talk about the
Before I
HMD
depart
thing?
controlled flight again. So
Yeah, before he goes post stall. So, helmet mounted displays. They're going to equip the hang. With,
no, you're good.
No, okay.
You're good.
No, I got you. I
You're
got
good.
you.
You're
hold
All
on.
right.
Just hold on. Just get through
Okay,
it.
this one's kind of near and dear to my heart a bit.
Breathe. G strain. Whatever you need to do. We got to get through this. Beyond equipping Hawaii base F-22s.
Oh no,
Stale
mover, I
Scorpion-
lost you again.
We got you loud and clear, man. Just fake it.
I just don't have mover. Okay.
Gonky,
Yes.
you read it.
All right.
Helmet mounted displays. So the hang Hawaii Air National Guard is looks like they're going to be the first to get the helmet. So scroll down a little bit, Doug. So
Okay.
it's the Scorpion helmet, which they've used, and I didn't know this, mover, but I didn't know the Air Force. Some F-16s had the Jahimics.
I didn't either. I thought only the Block 30 had the Scorpion. It says that they. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Hammocks worn by the Block 40, 42. Oh, they're all getting replaced.
Right, that's what I read. So
yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, so basically, the Hammocks is mid '90s technology, and the Scorpion, which the A10 uses it. They're looking at bringing it in the F-22. I didn't know this either, but they've used it in the C-130. The Aggressor F-5s, the civilian guys use them as well. So, and the cool thing about this helmet, mounted device or queuing system, whatever, is it like scroll up a little bit more, Doug, as you can kind of see like the plate comes down in front of your right eyes. Yeah, there it is. So what that means is you can have night vision goggles and your helmet. So like the Hammocks that the Navy uses, you either have your helmet mounted, queuing system, or you have your goggles, right? You can have both just because of the way it was. So it looks like they're going to integrate this, or going to try to integrate this with the F-22 with the Hawaii Air National Guard. And since I've heard you talk about it, and I'd be interested to hear you talk about ammo since you flew the Raptor as well. But like, I think it was you that was saying the Guard usually has like the money, the funding, the push to get these things that like ammo. I know you would really have liked to have seen the helmet in the Raptor to get these
yes,
modifications into weapon systems, and then hopefully the active duty gets it too through just sheer numbers and whatnot. But from reading this article, that Scorpion design I think is awesome. I think and it's color, man. Like the the helmet that we had in the Hornet wasn't color. The Scorpion is, which is phenomenal if you're trying to consolidate all your information into one display, because colors can mean things. So,
Get together, Gonky. We can do this.
So yeah, Mover. As far as the Guard goes, why is it, dude, that it's the Guard that can make it happen and not big giant active duty Air Force? Why is it the Guard that has to pay?
Glad you ask. A lot of times, it is called the National Guard and Reserve. Okay, it won't let me do that. So it's called National Guard and Reserve Equipment Appropriations in GRIA. In 1981, Congress created a separate equipment appropriation for reserve components from the president's budget submission titled Dedicated Procurement Program, which is now known as INGRIA. So that gives them a different pot of money that they can do projects with. And a lot of times they use that to develop stuff for their, at least that's what I think. I think because when I was in the F-16, we had the AATC in Tucson, and they would do all the development tests, software writing, and all that stuff, or the testing of the software that was being written specifically for the Block 30, which was under SCU, the software compatibility upgrade or whatever, component compatibility, whatever, versus MMC jets that active duty had. So different pots of money and different procurement regulations because they're Guard and allows them to get this stuff. It is interesting to me that the Scorpion is being used by that because the A10 had it. They used to call it, hog eye, pig eye, or whatever. Anybody that uses DCS, that's what you're using. Like you talked about, Gonky, the NVGs are compatible with it. So that's really cool. It's also how you flew with it, didn't you, Gonky?
The old helmet. Yeah. I've only got a handful of flights in it.
So that's the one where they have to put the magnet thing so it can track your head.
Yeah, you have to sit. You when you first get in the airplane, you cage it.
Well, so the Scorpion doesn't need that because it maps the cockpit. So it has a map of the cockpit and has a little gyro inside, and it knows where it is. So it doesn't need that. So it can be plug and play a lot easier and once they have a map of that cockpit, they can use it. It's like a VR headset that knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. So
when you talk about the money, is that federal or is that state or is it both?
It's federal money. It's a federal pot of money for these projects and stuff. Like when we were talking, even at 204, right? When you're talking about getting certain upgrades for like the Hornet, because it was reserve, there was hey, if we can get the ingredient money to do this, we can do it outside of the active duty procurement cycles. Ammo, you back?
Okay.
Yes.
This should work now.
All right, man.
Yeah.
So
what do you think about a helmet?
What's your take, man?
All right. So obviously, when I was in the Raptor, we didn't have anything for a helmet, and then in the Typhoon, I wore the helmet-mounted queuing system that they had with that. And yeah, having both to compare, yeah, I would say the Raptor definitely needs a helmet, especially to take full advantage of the AIM-9X. And also, something that stood out to me in the Typhoon was just the enhanced safety of flight, because especially if you're in a four-ship or you're with a brand new wingman who's calling blind every 6 to 9 seconds, you want to be able to look around and be able to quickly gain visual of your element mates. So in the Typhoon, that was pretty easy. You just look around, you see the other members of the four-ship. In the Raptor, now the Raptor, depending on what phase of employment, you might be in visual range, you might not be in visual range. And so, but a lot of times during admin phases, that would be really nice to have the helmet to be able to just look around and see friendly forces, in addition to queuing the 9X. So this is good news that finally the hang is going to start with the Striker helmet, and hopefully, like you said, Gonky, hopefully this can get fielded throughout the entire MDS.
Is this something as a community, like the Raptor guys, I mean, and gals, is it something that you guys are like, dude, why don't we have helmet?
Yeah, I think we're way overdue for it. And I mean, if nothing's changed since I last flew the jet, when they're still wearing the same helmets that they flew T6s and T38s in.
Yeah.
So
that's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that helmet compared to Jahemix is not that much heavier. Like, I think it's lighter than Jahemix is. So that helps for your neck.
Yep.
Because Jahemix is pretty heavy.
Ammo, when they designed the Raptor, they probably designed it with AIM-9X in mind. That's my assumption. I guess where I'm going with this is,
when did they start developing the 9X?
No, dude. The 80s? No way. When they developed the Raptor, no, they didn't know anything about it.
yeah, I guess where I was going with this is...
Oh, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
well, I guess where I'm going with this is the Super Hornet also developed in the 90s.
No, 80s.
80s, okay. Well, with the Super Hornet, with the ESA specifically, I remember that airplane, like if you didn't... The ACM modes, like the BVR stuff with the ESA was phenomenal, but the ACM modes without the helmet were worse than in the mech radar, because they had designed like ASA helmet 9X, they like when they conceived the weapons system as a whole, that was supposed to be used like that. And in the RAG, we didn't use the helmet mounted queuing system. And I remember when I first started flying the AISA, I'm like, this thing's phenomenal BVR, but it's not good within visual range. And so that's kind of what I was curious about. Is it going to enhance, do you think, the Raptor's within visual range capabilities, other than you being able to look around and target stuff, as far as how well the aircraft systems work, as far as getting locks and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, great question. Obviously the Raptor and its APG 77, it's got ACM modes as well with that. I don't know how Striker is supposed to interact with the ACM modes there. So can't really give you like any kind of educated answer on that.
And we don't want to go to jail.
We don't want to go to jail.
We don't want to do that either.
Gonky.
Yes. And so, funny, my stream didn't get cut off or go inverted when I started talking about that part there.
Now the Chinese would like you.
It gets real clear.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Go on.
Make it bigger.
Yes, go on. Well, for someone like me who sucks at BFM, the Striker combined with 9X, now I can just fly lag BFM and really just fly really poor BFM and just look up and cue the 9X and box 2 and it's over. So
Yeah, I never. I mean, I fought the Raptor as an IP in the Legacy Hornet, and we didn't have the helmet. But I've talked to my buddies in the Super Hornet with helmet who fought the Raptor, and they obviously the Raptor is a better BFM airplane, but they said with the AOA capability that the Hornet has, which is pretty darn good for a non-thrust vectoring airplane, combined with 9X in the helmet, like it really gave the Raptor problems. And I guess my question for you, because I've heard from a couple other Raptor pilots regarding the thrust vectoring. Were you the type that thought the thrust vectoring was really valuable, or would you rather have the extra gas? I've been told that if it didn't have thrust vectoring, you get another 500 pounds of gas. Would you rather have the fixed nozzles and a helmet, or, you know what I'm saying, thrust vectoring without it in a BFM scenario? In a BFM scenario,
I think I would say fixed nozzles in the helmet.
Yeah. Which to me, sorry, go ahead.
No, well, I was going to say what the thrust vectoring gives you is an awesome air show, but you know, in the speed regimes that you'd be using the thrust vectoring, you know, you're going pretty slow as it is. So, you know, I kind of would want that energy for BFM options, and I kind of want a helmet for options when I do bad BFM, and I can look across the circle and do you know, save my pink body before I lose 3-9 advantage.
Yeah, that's kind of the consensus, because I've asked that question to other Raptor pilots, and they were they basically kind of said the same thing. So I mean, if you had the helmet and the 9X, it might bridge that gap. Now for guns only, obviously you want thrust vectoring, but but the helmet 9X might bridge that gap of no thrust vectoring to some capacity. But yeah, the ammo, I was just curious what your take on it was, and it's nice to see that Raptor now is making some headway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like if I'm losing really bad in BFM, which I'm used to, and I need to do something last ditch to give the bandit a problem to solve that they may have never seen before, that thrust vectoring can really come in handy in flat plating the jet or doing some post stall maneuver that is going to give a problem for the bandit to solve that they may not know how to follow that maneuver, and I may be able to briefly gain a very quick Wes to get the upper hand. But other than that, you want to still fly back to basics, good fundamental BFM in the Raptor, whether you're fighting 1 circle, 2 circle, or whichever fight you select.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mover, remember we talked about it. It's been a couple months, but remember the Air Force long-term plan? They really didn't include the Raptor. So I wonder, maybe that's changed now.
No, they want to get rid of the early blocks. Was it the block 20s?
Was that it?
Yeah, they still have a plan for the later blocks for a long time because they don't have a replacement.
Okay.
At one point, you're right. I mean, at one point they were going to get rid of it. Like they had it like 2036 or 38 or something, but I think the latest is the early blocks they want to divest from. So
I think that'd be a terrible idea, but yes, continue.
I didn't think it was a good idea because then so the block 20s are your entire B course fleet, right? And so the argument was, well, they're old, they are not up to the latest frontline standard, and so there's a steep learning curve that the B course graduate has to go through in MQT to get up to the frontline standard. But so you get rid of the 20 or 30 or so block 20s, and where are you going to have jets to train in? You got to pull that from the front line, and the front line's already desperately short of Raptors. And so I just didn't think it was a good idea. I think it's worth putting the MQT student through a steeper learning curve. It seems like they all get through it, you know, so suck it up, go to the sim more and learn the differences is my opinion. Yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, hell, you learned on a T-38A.
That's right.
So if you can go from a T-38A
that's right
to
Raptor,
MiG-28 all day.
That's right.
Renee says, ammo, your thrust vectoring didn't work.
Thanks,
Renee.
Renee.
Talking about when you got sideways.
Okay. Got it.
Dude, I think it worked beautifully. You were 90 off, man.
Yeah.
That's a first. We've never seen that before on this show. So
congrats, ammo.
And
you're
the
one.
It wasn't a fluke because I was able to duplicate it.
The second time. I know.
Perfect. Capstar says bank angle, bank angle.
Bank angle.
Navman said shit hot recovery ammo. Not. We're recovered so far.
Yeah, come on, man.
We're here.
Now, nuclear tank says, as the buff says, oh my god, it's the ghost of computer problems past.
Yeah, fact.
Ethor says, so this is what happens when you have a Raptor, Viper, and Hornet pilot get together. Our nation's
Oh, there's a bar joke. There you go.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Pete's guide says ammo earned an upgrade to his call sign to Nordo.
Oh, hostile renaming.
Oh,
We already have a Nordo from the
Yeah,
T-38
We
world.
do. Yeah, you
Were
flew
you
with
there with
Nordo.
Nordo? Did you fly with Nordo?
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
He was an art, I think, when you were there.
Great
Yes.
stories.
Timer, yeah.
Nordo's got some great Savannah stories in the lobby.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for this
IDK James says, I made Mover mad, not on purpose, just misunderstood. Hey guys, love you guys. Breakdown. I don't know what he's
Thanks,
Breakdown.
James.
referring
He
to.
wants Gonky to break down. Break it down.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Won't take
Breakdown.
much.
I'm not mad, James. So there you go. I don't know why you say that. Lisa, for ammo gyro thingy fund. Kidding, but thank you all for everything.
Gyros, like gyro in an airplane, or like the gyro that you eat, like from a.
No, to
Gyro.
keep you to keep you gyroscopically upright.
Yeah, there we go. Too late.
Navman said, to be perfectly clear, Hemix is probably changed the maintenance flyer hour per flight hour from 1 to 20 to 1 to 10. Absolute nightmare for a maintainer on an EA-18G. Luckily, I retired before any further pain.
Wow.
A growler?
Yeah, the growlers got it. The dude that they both do. The guy in the back and the pilot.
What do they do on the Super Hornet? Did both of them have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which blew me away that the Strike Eagle is not like that. Only the pilot has it.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, you missed Scarf talking about riding in the back seat doing BFM with a Typhoon against the Strike Eagle. So they were doing a 9K defensive set. And he said by the turn circle entry, they were offensive.
Now, did the Strike Eagle have the conformal tanks? It probably did.
I don't think I've ever seen one without one. Like, I think
it's rare. Like they'll do like functional check flights without them, and apparently because the Strike Eagle's got more powerful engines than the C model, apparently it's a beast without the conformals.
Really? Well,
So-
Scarf let us know that the Typhoon with 2 tanks is still a beast. So
it is.
like it doesn't matter how many, like what configuration the type is. It 9Gs? Yes.
Yep.
It's like, which is wild.
And there's a regime where kind of close to 500 knots ish that if you are full backstick, it will sustain 9Gs and it will just keep accelerating. Yeah.
Gonky, you flew the Strike Eagle in Digital Combat Simulator.
That makes me not an expert, but continue.
No, you are. You are ready to go. Zippers Forever says weekly donation to the Popcorn Fund. Thanks, Zippers.
Zipper.
Cute pupper dog. Pneumatic Elephant says, Mover, off-topic question. Did you go through, he says FCLP. Oh, he says FLCP, but I think I know what he means. FCLP while flying the Hornet. Did you land Navy style regardless? Control crash. Thanks for a great show. Yes and no. We did FCLPs, but every other time I just landed it like a real airplane, and it was awesome because it was the easiest airplane in the world to land and have a good landing.
Yeah, and on the Legacy jet, you were asking for a planing link failure.
I rolled the dice.
Yeah, why roll the dice? So just grease her on. Don't have the planing link failure, which is killed.
Wait a minute. I thought the planing link failure was from flaring.
No, dude.
Everybody always said that's why nobody flared was because of the planing link failure.
No,
That's why it was recommended not to flare. But I was like, you know what? I'd rather have a nice landing.
Dude, no.
Are you sure it's not cat shot brain?
It might be, but I'm 99% sure that you don't want when the link fails, the gear goes sideways and you go off the side of the runway.
Well, that's the point, though. So when you flare, you're not putting enough load on it to get it to set.
But dude, it gives you a warning as soon as it and I've had it to where where you touch down, you get the momentary planing link failure, which you're supposed to treat it like a real one. I've had that before because the sensor is very sensitive.
Okay. All right.
Somebody who works on them on the comments here. Correct me.
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Let us know if we're
But
wrong.
I'm like Mover. I preferred the smoother landing just because I thought it'd be nice.
It's such an easy airplane to land. Like the Viper, man, it just wanted to keep flying, but the Hornet, ooh, nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Very, very butter. Made you feel like you're a real pilot. Zippers Forever says Raptor, Hornet, and Viper guys have a beer as the Typhoon laughs from the vertical with a smart helmet. I don't know. James says Mover dressed me down. I comments is why I misunderstood. I don't.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James.
We
I don't
salute
remember.
you, James.
Yes, thank you, man.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I apologize for what I may or may not have said. Probably Gonky, and I'm getting blamed for it again.
New show for Mover. Mover offends.
Yeah. Mover ruins Mover. Ron Smith says East Coast Navy pilots and Raptor pilots agree on one thing: the HRBT Hampton Roads
Bridge tunnel. Fact. Fact.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Facts, not fiction.
Yep. This ain't the news.
Don't argue with Gonky about breaking Hornet's gear.
Ooh.
Valid. I mean, I've broken the gear on the Hornet, so I know a thing or two about.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about whatever's next. Oh, this one's sad. Gonky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got it.
Philippine fighter jet and 2 pilots are missing on a mission against insurgents. So, an FA-50, right, Mover?
Yeah.
So, Philippine fighter jet with 2 pilots on board lost during a night combat assault in support of ground forces battling communist insurgents in the southern province. An extensive search is underway, officials said Tuesday. Yeah, so they haven't found them yet. Looks like they're doing some, nighttime is usually the best time, in my opinion, to do your air to surface mud moving type stuff. But it is also the most dangerous time. So we don't know, what happened to them. It says we're hopeful of locating them in the aircraft soon. And the colonel asked, everybody join in prayer that they be returned safely. And the pilots eject. Let's see. Hold on. Scroll back up, man. Pilots, what did it say? Did it say where they could eject? The pilots could eject from the supersonic jets in case they encounter any problem that could, lead to crash. Rescuers could locate them if their emergency locating transmitters emitted any signals. So the ELTs they must not, maybe the radio's not working. I mean, those are all bad signs as far as.
Yeah, that usually means not good things.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a follow-up story if you want me to click on it.
Yeah. I didn't. It says the Philippines, they got 12 FA-50s, the multi-purpose fighter jets. They started getting them in 2015 from South Korea. They plan to acquire another 12 jets from South Korea. So Philippines is using the FA-50 probably for training and for operations. Yeah, what's the follow-up on this, man? Did they find them? Did they?
I mean, I would say it's probably unlikely, but
yeah,
it's not good. You want me to go with it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it up, man. Yeah, that's all pretty hostile territory outside the scope
so
of
they
war.
They found the wreckage in the bodies, which
yeah,
I mean, you kind of knew. That's a headline I would never have expected. Is they're fighting the communist guerrillas.
This is is this in the southern Philippines on the east side?
With other Air Force aircraft provided combat support battling dozens of New People's Army guerrillas near Cabanaglasan, near Bukidnon.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is, but
I know on the east side of the country, on the southern, like near the border, I know they've always had.
They found it in the jungle on the mount, so maybe control flight in the terrain kind of thing.
Maybe while trying to prosecute an attack.
Mountainous region, you're trying to do low-level stuff at night, never works out.
No, dude. And I wonder, I mean, that's a pretty advanced modern airplane. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they are on goggles or, I mean, heck, does it use the Scorpion? I don't know. But you're right, dude. I did even with goggles, man. And so I mean, this is jungle type territory, and the one qual that they gave me in Malaysia that I really didn't want to get was low level MVG. And I remember getting the qual, and I mean, and then, the jungle, it'll be like super nice, but then, with the humidity and stuff, you'll hit a patch of fog.
Yeah.
You don't know, like, is there a mountain in here? You just be zooming along with your goggles on, everything's fine. Then boom, right into a cloud, and, you did climb up right away, but I could see very quickly. I mean, you guys know low level during the day, your options, you know, are limited by the amount of reaction time you have. At night, looking through the soda straw is even different. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Doug, I'm just curious, your those towns in the Philippines, is it? Oh yeah, is that it? Where it's marked?
Correct. That's the mountain that they mentioned.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Mountainous terrain, jungle, and no cultural lighting. We don't know what the moon illumination was. I mean, all that stuff plays a factor when you start talking any night ops, much less, you know, night prosecuting air to surface attacks.
Yeah, and that's a 2-seat. I don't know. I guess I don't know if I wonder if they have like a pilot Wizzo type setup, or if it's 2 pilots.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do remember, because of that mission in the jungle, I remember some of the guys telling me they prefer a 2-seat jet just for the safety aspect of it too.
Yeah.
2 people avoiding the ground essentially, or, you know, terrain at night like that. So, I mean, yeah, it's sad, man. I mean,
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Nickel in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So in other news in that part of the world, there was South Korea near the DMZ. They inadvertently bombed a church. I talked about this on my channel, did a video on it, but in the news, and I think, Doug, you have this, the top Air Force commander offers public apology, basically saying it never should have happened. 2 KF-16s abnormally dropped 8 Mark 82s outside a training range about 40 kilometers south of Seoul during live fire drills, injuring 29, including 15 civilians. The Air Force should protect lives and property of the people, which should protect lives and property of the people inflicted harm to the people. It was an accident that should never have happened, and one that should not recur. If you scroll down, it says Lee took the blame for the accident, unprecedented mistake bombing on civilian town, vowed efforts to prevent such accidents going forward. Interim probe result released Monday reaffirmed pilot error as the cause of the bombing, saying the pilot of the first aircraft missed at least 3 opportunities to prevent the accident after wrongly entering target coordinates, and preventative measures they vowed to strengthen procedures to ensure cross-checks. Their live fire drills will resume. So Gonky, I talked about it on my channel, because kind of, things I brought up are, wrong coordinates, or you bomb the IP, right? Which could still be wrong coordinates, because I've heard of that in training. I've heard of that, in combat, where, in an F-16 where you're just ink decking between steer points, you get confused on which one's the IP and which one's the target. You call IP inbound at the one before that. Nobody catches it. You pickle. But one thing I didn't talk about is typically when you're bombing on a range, which again, it could be different cultures and stuff, you are checking in with range control. You're getting that the range is safe, because they actually go and check and make sure nobody's out there, no stranger traffic, stuff that you can hurt. And they will give you a cleared, it may not be cleared hot, but a lot of times it is, but they will at least give you the clearance to do your first run attack on range, even if it is something that you're not going to do a clearing pass for. But Gonky, Ammo, what do you guys think? How does something like that happen?
First of all, man, I think it's pretty cool that I don't say General Lee, but the that he took responsibility for it, right? When I read through the article, and he's like, I take full responsibility. That's pretty cool, even though, he wouldn't fly in the airplane. Yeah, Mover, you talked about, the ways it could happen. The thing I always come back to, and it's like, it's like we were just talking about, the helmet and what it can bring, safety and stuff like that. These are complex airplanes, right? We're flying, jet powered airplanes with bombs and stuff strapped to them. And it literally, you can be one coordinate off in your waypoint planning, and something like this can happen. So it just, to me, it just drives home the importance of just, good training, quality training, And I read a couple articles as well about this, and I don't know how often, what was the recency of experience like, any of those kind of factors. So yeah, it was pilot error for sure. And thank goodness that, more damage was done, because they dropped a lot of ordnance, dude.
8 Mark 82s, 500-pound GP bombs.
Dude, yeah, that's a lot of ordnance into a area with innocent people. So I mean, literally, thank God that there wasn't more damage and destruction. So they're very lucky there. And I guess the big takeaway, we can't change the past, but we can change the future. So the big takeaway is, hopefully, the Koreans are going to use this in their training of, hey, this is how you can make a terrible mistake. Let's not do it again. So, yeah, Ammo, what do you think, man?
Yeah, tragic. Thankfully, yeah, like you said, they got away with it, not having more destruction or any death. So, as someone that does not have a lot of air-to-ground experience with the 2 platforms that I flew, I did drop 1 bomb in combat once in the Raptor, and I mean, we're just talking like Cat 1 bomb on coordinate, but we had multiple layers of, let's call it, accountability between reading the coordinates to the JTAC, and with our data link confirming that what we have as the target is the correct coordinates in accordance with our tar pack, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so what went wrong? Where did the Swiss cheese line up? We'll have to wait for the investigation to come out. But yeah, definitely something broke down in that chain of accountability there, and pressed the pickle button on the wrong target. But yeah, tragic for sure.
I mean, Mover or Ammo, have you guys ever put in, like, on the fly? Have you guys ever put in the wrong coordinate?
Oh yeah, if you're on the fly and you've got a TOT that you got to meet, and they're not giving you any extension to that, yeah, that's where the risk really starts spiking, and you've got to have your wingman backing you up or something there, because there's no turning back once you press the button.
Yeah,
and I talked about this on the video I made about it when it first happened. The various modes that the F-16 can drop. You've got CCIP, which is, you get basically a hot pickle button, and wherever the bullseye is where the bomb's going to go. It's a computed impact point. You've got CCRP, which is a release point, which is based off of whatever your system has, whether it's a induced slew, your radar, your GPS, targeting pod, whatever. It's just bombing whatever it thinks, and as soon as it gets a solution to that, it's a hot pickle button. And then there's dive toss. And the thing I was thinking is that, to me, it's unlikely that it was anything but a CCRP or some kind of bomb on coordinate stuff, because, at least me thinking, if I'm doing a diving delivery, which you usually would do with a Mark 82, usually we don't just do level deliveries, because there's no training value in that, right? If you're doing a general purpose munition, you're pointing your nose at the ground. You would see that, like, you target ID, because we do pop attacks, we would do roll-ins and stuff, and part of that was rolling in, looking off, going, that's my target, visually acquiring it, and then you've got to put the thing on the thing to make it work. And at that point, you'd go, oh, that's a church, because a live range looks massively different from anything else. Like, it's usually just dirt out in the open, because you got safe distances and stuff. They're not going to have maybe, targets, but the targets don't stand up because you're bombing them with lives. Typically, it's the same place you bomb over and over. So that, to me, says that they were dropping on some kind of coordinates, which I have questions about. Do they have targeting pods? Probably not, if you're just doing GP attacks. But if you do, then okay, that's another way you can verify that what you're looking at is the correct target. If it was a pre-planned attack going back, then, it could have happened in mission planning. When you loaded the DTC, it could have happened, he was typing them in. I mean, to me, if you're dropping live, and like you brought up, Ammo, every time something comes off your airplane, the hair on the back of your neck is standing up.
Yep.
Because you are like, if I hit this button and I'm wrong, it's my, I am taking somebody's life.
Yep.
It is a lot of power with that button, even in training, because we'd go to Fort Polk, and every time you drop, you're like, God, I hope this isn't, I didn't, because your real concern, like on a range, is usually not, am I going to bomb the civilian populace? Is, am I going to accidentally drop on the JTAC? Am I going to drop on the range controller? Am I going to drop on something I'm not supposed to? Did I accidentally induce a slew in the system and it's, off range and stuff like that? So there's a lot of responsibility when you're carrying that much firepower on your aircraft. And it'll be interesting to see what they mean when they say, well, he had the wrong coordinates in. Because like they talked about, there's different checks. And for both of them to do that, did the wingman know and not speak up, or were they both led down the same rabbit hole?
You bring up a good point, Mover, like especially as a pre-planned mission. So at least in the Navy, during combat ops, even during regular ops, like we would always record the, the GPS, the quality of the GPS that the jet was getting.
Yeah.
Then whatever weapons we were carrying, we would record the weapon health, right, of each weapon. And then if we were using the AT FLIR, especially in combat, there was a point that we would designate with the FLIR to test its coordinate generating and accuracy. And you had to record. I mean, it was a giant.
Dropping in combat is more about recording the right things than it is about actually dropping the weapon. It's
it was
liability.
Yeah, CYA big time, and it was
six is going to watch it after.
100%, dude. So like when I employed, it's like the first thing they want to see is, did you record all your stuff? Because if it didn't happen to me, but it does happen, even smart weapons, they don't hit exactly. And they want to know, like, okay, let's rewind your tapes. Let's see if, did you, and they want to see all that. And if you didn't do that, that's bad. That could be very bad for you. And then if something like this happened where, something, terrible, where you're actually injured some people, nearly killed some people, dude, you'd probably be the end of your flying days if you were sloppy and didn't record that stuff. So, I mean, it's, there is a lot of, and if it was a pre-planned mission, you would definitely record
on the ground. You're recording them in the EOR. That's where, exactly. When you title your tapes, you're like, today is whatever. You had a whole script you had to read. I mean,
I had a whole Top Gun approved checklist. Step one is this.
You had to read it, who you were, what you were doing. That brings back memories, man. I forgot about about that. So
the not cool part.
Well, and so one of the things the comments on my video brought up, and they go, well, why? Right? Why? Because that seems to be the common like civilian question anytime something bad like this happens, is why is the military doing this? Like, why does the military need to put 8 Mark 82s on dirt for training? And the answer is because it's not just training for the pilots, which is valuable, right? Because you get the weight, you get the fusing, you get to see, hey, is the thing armed? Is it spinning? We do the safe checks after we take off and make sure everything is good. You get to see what it looks like when you pre-flight it. But also the maintainers. People always forget about the maintenance side of things, but the weapons and the ammo and all those other parts of the mission that we don't talk about enough, that gets exercised. How did we get the bomb? Did we build the bomb correctly? All that stuff gets exercised when we drop lives, and it's a totally different process than just going out there and simulating with putting the green thing on the thing. So it is absolutely valuable training to go do it from start to finish. It's just, in this case, it did not go well.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but every time I had live weapons, it was always a different flight.
Oh, yeah.
Like smoking and joking, throttle back, pay attention more.
Don't fly over populated areas, because you're like, if I got to punch these things off, like you had procedures and stuff for it.
Exactly. It's little things like Mover and I were talking the other day about nose wheel steering, right? I mean, just getting armed up, something you don't normally do. So, with forward firing weapons and real weapons, there's specific areas on the field where you had to go to get armed up. And in Malaysia, one time on the Hornet, it was at the end of the runway, and we would always paddle off the nose wheel steering. So the launch bar, you didn't accidentally hit the nose wheel steering with the launch bar and take out one of your ground crew members. And I forgot to turn the nose wheel steering back on. I went to take off, had to abort because the jet started to veer off the runway and I couldn't stop it. And that was just the thing. It's like, Oh, dude, yeah, dummy. When you get armed up on the end of the runway, don't forget, just run real quick through your takeoff checks again. And little things like that where you don't want to have those little mistakes when you're in actual combat, right? You want to iron out all that stuff. So it really comes back to train like you fight. And that's why it's good training to carry real weapons. And the other thing that I learned, weapons expire, right?
Yeah. So you got to use them or
you spend all this money, taxpayer dollars, on creating the fins, the fuses. I didn't know this, but in the Navy, like they track how many cats and traps like your bombs, fins, and fuses have, right? Because those things have a lifespan. And once they get close to the end, it's like, well, let's use these for training. So at least we don't throw them away, right? So I mean, that's why we do it. I mean, ammo, even in the Raptor, man, when you guys put like a live belt in the gun, I mean, it turns up the intensity a little bit on the flight, right? I mean, you're paying
100%.
attention.
Yes, sir. You better believe it.
Yeah.
And Gonky, you make a good point about checklist discipline, because in the F-16, you had a 3-position master arm. It was master arm, up, off, simulate. And we ride around and simulate a lot because you kind of get lazy, right? Because, you know, you're doing training, you're always in sim. Well, the one time you're in combat or you're dropping lives, and, you know, it'll be self-correcting when you're in sim, you press the pickle button, you roll off, and you're like, well, how come they're still on the airplane? Oh, yeah, I was in sim, you big dummy. So even little stuff like that about going through my pre-release checklist of confirming, you know, I'm not going to say it on the show, but I still like verbatim remember my, you know, the mantra I'd go through before releasing something, because it's drilled into you, so to speak. And I think that training is good. Going back to this scenario, I just wonder where that broke down, and I think a thorough investigation will find the answer. You know, and it just like any mishap. Like, I don't think this is any different than any other mishap, except thankfully we're not talking about deaths.
Yep.
You know, and that's it.
So lucky.
I mean, I think of how bad the pilots feel. I mean, you imagine that feeling after, you know, you roll off and realize you're hey,
dude,
you guys on range yet?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
So, anyway, all right. That horse is dead. Navman says, Gonky, I was that senior chief on deck that told you, don't break it. Don't mess it up, LT. We got you. You break it, skipper, don't fly today.
That's awesome. Valid. Very valid.
IDK James says, Semper Brothers.
Thanks, James.
James is back.
He is back.
Yeah. Dusty Nut says, maybe they have really realistic looking training areas, not for live. And the reason for that is you'd never keep it up. You know, I mean, you go put up your little wooden shack and you're like, okay, this is the target building. And then after about the first Mark 82, it's like, we're not building that again. Yeah. You know, some poor private in the South Korean army has to go rebuild the thing.
Every time you blow it up.
It's for one job.
Maybe they do. Yeah. He's the guy that re-erects the structures. Zippers Forever says, TACP nightmare, mistaken data entry with no readback makes for a closed error loop. Back in the day, you had to give bearing and distance from target to TACP or F111 CDE and reverse it for FB. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Wow.
Remember the whole thing about friendly grid, and then you'd make sure you knew, like, you didn't put that in a steer point that you would ever drop on. So you had to put that somewhere else because you wanted to make sure you didn't accidentally ink deck to that. And it's happened. I mean, it's happened. I mean, the reason it's all written in blood, it's all these little things that we're remembering and nuances and stuff is because people have made these mistakes and we've learned from them. And, you know, this will probably drive new procedures in the South Korean Air Force.
Yeah, 100%.
Angie says, Southern Philippines, 3 hours from where I live. It's a long range with some of the tallest mountains in the Philippines. Hiked there many times when the FA-50 pilots was getting married March.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's sad.
That sucks. Sucks. That's terrible. Newman says, I was typing about ord expiration G blocked.
G locked?
I think it said G blocked.
G blocked.
Blocked. Thanks,
Gonky
man.
blocked, I think. Is what
Gonky
he-
blocked. We'll go with that.
It says I'm not illiterate. It says G blocked. You
No, but
guys make me
did Newman mean G-lock? Did he
question
G-lock?
my
Typing.
ability to do the reading. Dusty Nut.
I love it.
He's back.
LOL. Speaking of checklist discipline, we just had someone pop a hoist squib during a test on the ground.
Ooh.
Oh,
What is a hoist squib?
I don't know what a squib is, but I didn't know they were on hoists.
Okay.
Isn't that something
Wow.
that the
Fire.
armorers use?
Oh man, a squib is like a fire extinguisher, isn't it?
Yeah. That's something that goes bang.
Yeah.
So this actually, Daniel sent me this too. There was a, which we're not, I mean,
when did this
other
happen?
than to say, we're sorry for their loss. I mean, we weren't really going to. 3 killed in the UMMC helicopter crash in Madison County. Madison County Sheriff's Office, among others, are investigating a deadly helicopter crash at 12:30 p.m. during the near Natchez Trace Parkway. Crash was in a heavily wooded area south of the Trace. So medical helicopter, I really can't read, went down in the woods. University of Mississippi Medical Center released a statement in response to the crash. This afternoon, an air carrier helicopter had an accident in Madison County north of the Ross Barnett Reservoir. 2 UMMC employee crew members and a med-trans pilot were on board. No patient. Law enforcement has responded. That's awful. I mean, our thoughts. It's a dangerous business. There by the grace of God go I. I mean, daytime.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Very, very, very tough. Zipper says, had a Mark 82 dropped on me on B-17 in Fallon. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You know B-17.
Sure do. Bravo 17. That's the proper way of saying it. Yeah. Yeah, nerd.
Top Gun recommends.
Yeah, pounds in.
Did you know Top Gun recommends naps?
I'm not surprised, dude.
So when I was at Strike Patron 204 and they were like, go watch the DVD because nobody would teach me anything. And I started reading the actual Top Gun manual and I got to the whole section of naps. And so I'd walk around being like, Top Gun recommends a nap right now. And nobody ever liked that. I'm like, well, if we're going to go off of what Top Gun recommends, we might as well use the whole book.
Oh, yeah. Top Gun says.
Yeah, you got to get naps for combat efficiency.
Yeah.
It's a UH-60 rescue hoist.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Is Dusty Nut like part of Dust Off?
Dude, I don't know.
Or is it what happens when you're deployed?
Dusty Nut. I think it could be a cool call sign.
Yeah. Michael says, talking about arm D-arm also made me think of roasting at what is it?
The Kayla, yeah, in Lemoore.
What did it stand for? Something loading area.
Yeah, it's where they load the bombs, which is all the way on the east side of the field. Yeah, there's no shade over there. If memory serves me right.
Yeah, no sunshades, no nothing.
Yeah, dude, it's hot out there.
That was rough, he said. Yeah, I could believe. I mean, dude, we would do that in the summer in New Orleans because that's what they would move the jets. The jets would not be parked at the normal ramp. Same thing at Homestead. Yeah. They would go be in the live ordnance loading area. I don't know what the difference is. Lola, Kayla, I don't know.
Same. Yeah,
except when you're deployed. When you're deployed, they just park them where they normally park them. But when you're home ops, it's on the other side of the field.
Yeah, that comment just brought back memories. I mean, kind of off topic, but man, my hat's off to all the maintainers, ordies and stuff. I just remember being in the Gulf on the boat, and it's like 120 degrees on the flight deck, and those guys and gals up there worked all day. And I remember they constantly coming down getting water, ice packs, and I remember the XO of the carriers like, we're using a little too much water. If we could throttle back. I'm like, dude, have you seen your guys and gals on the flight deck? Like, literally, come on. Yeah, but yeah, my hat's off to them, man. I mean, I can't imagine spending all day outside in the Kayla and Lemoore in the summer. That'd be terrible too.
Yeah, Napman said, imagine that PI thing happens in Fallon, Nellis, China Lake, Point Magoo. Absolute disaster. Open eyes. We learn from everything. That's key.
Well, people have dropped off range in the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I didn't get the bomb the IP story from like my imagination.
Right.
That
No.
has happened.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's not a scenario we envision, we dreamed of.
Yeah.
We know it because other people have done it.
I've thrown one off range, but it was
Did you set the fire at Camp Shelby?
no.
Because that happened at VFA 204. They started a forest fire with a little BDU 33.
No. I've rolled in before and the bomb has come off and then you hear him say no spot and you're like, whoa, what do you mean?
Unscorable.
Check again because it definitely came off my airplane.
Ammo, did you guys ever point at the ground on purpose?
You're talking about like for
Yeah,
air to ground or strafe?
Air to ground.
No, everything was bomb on coordinate.
But in the Typhoon you did, right? You guys did plenty of that in the Typhoon, right?
Yeah, let me think about that. So they kept me in air to air in the Typhoon.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I did some paveway employment, but that was and messed around with the laser a bit. But they wanted me to mostly teach air to air, like TI, BFM, DCA, and all that. Yeah.
So it's called the wheel, right? Mover in the Air Force. So you never got in the wagon wheel and just rolled in, do the old Stuka dive bomber release.
Not live in the sim, yeah, but yeah, not live in the jet, yeah.
Strangely, I'm jealous of you.
Again, I'm sitting here listening to all this, and I'm thinking, it's just kind of nice being being just air to air for pretty much all my career.
Yeah.
Although you could shoot down an airliner, but you just wouldn't have live. Yeah.
Yeah. With the flyout cues simulated, of course.
Yep.
Although when we shot live missiles, that's what I was always afraid of. When we went to Miramar, I was like, oh, I hope we don't shoot something down. We're not.
Did you shoot live in the Air Force mover?
No, just the Navy.
Ammo, did you do a live shoot in the Raptor?
Yeah, several. Shot a old 9 mic and a AMRAM.
Down at Tyndall?
Yeah.
No kidding?
Yep.
What was the target?
For the 9 mic, it was a subscale. Well, no, for both of them, they were subscale drones. Yeah.
Really? Anything with the 9 mic? Was it any kind of dynamic shot, or were they both just?
Yeah, it was pretty dynamic. It was, in fact, it was meant to be where I had no chance of hitting the drone because they wanted the drone to survive for other shots. So it was kind of one of those instances that you were mentioning. Mover, you were mentioning that it was just a really old missile that either we're gonna pickle this thing or it's got to go to a munitions dump or something.
Did it work?
Yeah, how did it do? It probably worked.
It worked. Yeah. I have no clue. God only knows how old that Seeker cranium was on the end of that thing. I can't even believe it got a lock, to be honest, because subscales don't necessarily have the largest IR signature. So. It was cool. It was like launching a bottle rocket.
Yeah.
Shoom, right out.
Yeah.
And then you see the tail doing its little sidewinder thing, and it's like, wow, I get paid to this. It was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. I like the AMRAM better. The AMRAM was awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Were you able to see the impact? Like, was the target?
No, it was a BVR shot. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And it was the AMRAM was live, but it didn't have any explosives. Yeah. So, but they were able to use telemetry. It had a telemetry pack on it. So in debrief, they were able to tell you if you got within lethal range of the drone, and that shot did. It didn't spear it, but it if it had a warhead and it fused, it would have killed it. So that was cool.
So when you got done with that shot, you landed. So you went into basically the big tax, and they gave you the whole data dump debrief. That's pretty cool, man.
It was super cool. Yeah, that was one of the coolest days in my Air Force career. That was awesome.
Did you get a patch, AMRAM shooter?
Yep, got the patch. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, I've only ever shot the heater, which was, like you said, it's like a bottle rocket.
Yes.
I thought the thing went straight to the water. When I shot the 9, when you and me shot that 9 mic, it just went like down, and I'm like, uh-oh. Like, I thought it went straight into the water, and then it zipped back up and hit the flare, and I was like, oh, cool.
Oh yeah, she worked.
Cool. Good for us. Yep. The chat wants to know, Ammo, how much training did you get against balloons?
What was the preferred weapons and tactics go?
We made it this far. We made it. We're live for an hour and a half. And we finally got to.
Well, we can finally understand you. So now we need the deepest of intel.
Ammo's been upside down. He's been muted. He's been
BFMing out down there, fighting for his life.
I know. I've been too stable here. We're due to shake this up a bit. Yeah.
Balloons.
It was slightly poetic because the Raptor that shot down the balloon was from the 27th Fighter Squadron, and the 27th Fighter Squadron, I believe its first kill ever was a balloon. So it's kind of back in World War One.
Perfect. The most qualified squadron. Got that's perfect, man.
Yeah. So it's poetic.
It's poetic.
Yeah. We'd just like to know, yes, that is a T-38 from Tyndall.
Yeah.
On the back there.
What side? What side number is that?
204.
204. Yeah.
Is it 2? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Good old 204.
Mm-hmm.
Your eye tests failed, Gonky.
Oh, dude. There's a lot of things on Gonky that are failing, dude.
It's too much information.
Catch up, brain.
Please, all AMEs in this.
Yeah,
that's true.
Please,
it's just a
exit
joke.
now. Yeah.
I need to know about what's
where's
going
that
on.
joke disclaimer mover that you had for
wait, this
Scarf?
one?
Yeah, there we no, there's another one. You had it earlier for Scarf. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, he didn't catch that humor when I had that up there. He didn't
all
laugh at
flight
me.
docs and AMEs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gonky was joking. He really can see.
Oh yeah, I see great.
Yeah.
He did not memorize the eye chart.
E. E.
Newman says $2 just for the lip sweater. Gonky, take note. Why would Gonky take note? Given, I mean, look.
I am an FBI.
Don't mess with this dog.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Zippers Forever says there's a difference between the dust cloud from a mortar being fired and probably Willie Pete on target.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't drop on the dust. Brief item after the war of Bravo 17.
Nice.
John, what's up, John?
Yeah.
JD, don't we know someone who targets some bovine targets in Error ones?
Nope. Mover, you don't know anybody, do you?
I don't know anything about it. Thomas says, no Luna tonight. Happy birthday, Walmart. Luna does not do 2 days.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't either. Maybe Luna's onto something.
I know.
That was, the canines are smarter than the Homo sapiens.
Oh, yeah. She's way smarter than me. Doug will vouch for that. Doug, is Luna smarter than me?
She's smarter than all of us.
Yeah.
She's
second.
I got to leave her tomorrow. I'm going to Verticon. That's sad.
Speech.
It's a panel. But I do have to talk for 15 minutes. So
yeah, you do.
How that goes. I'm not used to talking in front of people. Hammerby 1169 giggity. Please tell me that balloon killing squadron is known as the Airhead. Maybe. All right. Hey, less depressing news. A B-52 saved a Cessna today, or
yay,
someday. Which goes to show you if you have 20 people in a cockpit, you can make things happen.
And 69 hours of gas.
Yeah. If you're airborne for 2 days,
and 8 engines,
and have 8 engines and 14 people, you too can make something happen. Play the tapes. Roll it.
Inbound into weather, and it sounds like he's not IFR rated.
Call sign Hail 13 transformer routine 14-hour training flight into a life-saving mission when they assisted a lost 172 pilot in Alaska. Routine. I'd feel like a hostage. Air traffic control alerted the crew that the small plane, here you go, Gonky, small plane was lost in overcast conditions over mountainous terrain. The B-52 crew from Minot, why not, used their communication systems and navigational expertise to locate and guide the distressed pilot, just like Maverick from Top Gun.
Out around Tanana, do you see a 7700 Squawk? It may be too low for you.
Negative, I do not.
Well, we've got a guy out. He knows he's out in the Tanana vicinity someplace, but he's not sure exactly where.
Okay, what's his call sign?
5459 or Romeo. He's a 172. He was following the river out there around Tanana. And we've got him on 7700 just in case you got one that pops up there.
5459 Romeo 172.
Yes.
Right away.
Captain Justin George and Major Matthew Lewis use their training and iPads with chart coverage to assist a lost Cessna pilot in poor weather. Major Lewis, an instructor pilot, guided the pilot via VOR navigation, and there were some words that I missed.
In AL13, there's a Cessna 172 that's squawking 7700 and around the Tanana vicinity. That's Tango Alpha Lima. If you can look that up on your map, is there any way that you can either transmit, see if you can call him? And Hail 13, the frequency is 122.65, and the call sign is November 545 Niner Romeo.
013, copy. It's 12265. It's trying to contact November 5459 Romeo.
Hail 13, Roger.
Center, Hail 13.
And Hail 13, do you have any joy with that Cessna 172?
Hey, firm, sir. We're about to reach up on 12265. He advises that he is on the 240 radio inbound into weather, and it sounds like he's not IFR rated.
He knows a lot for
Hail 13, what's his DME or mileage from the VOR?
He was not able to pass that information to his DME is not working.
Yeah, like a
And
T-38.
Hail 13, if you can ask that 172, see if he is ADF equipped. And if he is ADF equipped, he can get himself across a bearing off of the Minchumina radio beacon, which the code's in the Minchumina radio beacon 227.
Hail 3, we'll relay help.
I don't know what any of those words mean. Ask the Navs.
Hail 13.
Yeah.
Hail 13, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ADF equipped or not. It sounds like he's busy flying his airplane right now. He said he's still inbound on the 240 radio. He believes he's close to the Tango Alpha Lima nav base, and he's at 1,100 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. There was a lot of people on that airplane. Look at that.
And Hail 13, Roger. The new weather we show for Tanana is Tanana observation 0152, wind 090 at 10 gusting 18, visibility 1 1/2, light snow, ceiling 1,900 overcast, and altimeter 2965. If you can tell him that, it looks like it's getting better for him. What you said his altitude is 1,100.
Hey, from 1,100, we copy 090 10 gust 18. 1.5 miles visibility with light snow, 1,900 ceiling, 2965 on the altimeter. We're passing to office.
Hail 13, there's a little bit more of information. If you can go over to Tanana frequency 122.9, that's the CTAF there, and 7 clicks will bring the lights up to high intensity.
Hail 13, we'll do that.
This is date. This is
Hail
nighttime.
13, could you confirm that that 172 is still on the 240 radial inbound? The lowest IFR altitude in that area is 6,000 feet, going to 4,000 feet as you get closer to the VOR.
Hail 13, informant, we have a 240 radio outbound, and we'll look for you that information. Center, Hail 13.
Hail 13, go ahead.
Yes, sir. He just reported that he believes that he sees the airport beacon. We're going to turn back towards our next destination. At this
We
time,
still
we'll be
got
monitoring
14
the
hours
frequency.
left to go.
Hail 13, was he able to turn the lights on?
Hail 13, affirmative.
Hail 13, Roger.
Center, Hail 13. The Cessna's reported safe on the ground.
Hail
Nice.
13, Roger.
All
Thank
right.
you very much, sir, for your help.
Nice.
Pause that so I can read the whole thing. It wasn't an everyday sortie like flying over East Texas. The Cincinnati native said these two guys put in a week-long effort planning a mission with 2 air refuelings and a missile launch string. And halfway through the complex mission, we helped save this guy's life and did that without even batting an eye. We were all focused on the mission, then helped this guy in trouble. We shifted focus, went 200 miles off course, but hit all the checkpoints, showed we could do all that was asked for us, and then more.
Buck, baby.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We did. We showed. All right, what do you guys think?
I think it's awesome they were able to help that. I mean, I remember back in my early flying days, that would be a terrifying situation, man. So it's cool that somebody was able to help them. I know when I was young, a less experienced pilot, if you know, a B-52 checked in and started helping me out, I know it would definitely calm me down and help, you know, help keep a level head in a scenario like that. So it's cool that they were able to help. The rest of the B-52 stuff, no thanks, but it's super cool they were able to help, man. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Emma, what do you think?
Good on ATC. I mean, CRM, all available resources, right? You know, to just think of whatever last ditch resort. Oh, okay. Well, there's a buff flying around here. Let's see if they've got the. They've certainly got the bodies. You know, do they have the equipment and the sensors and all that other whatnot to help get this guy back on the ground? So
He's not doing anything.
No, he was flying IFR. I follow rivers.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too, man. I follow rivers, which
Yeah.
hey, we've all done. I've done it.
Golly, that's horrifying though. At night,
Yes,
2,000 feet below the min safe or the min vectoring altitude, and
in Alaska,
you can
right?
you can I think that was Alaska.
Remember, that was Alaska.
Yeah, it was Alaska. They
Yeah.
were on a 14-hour mission from Minot to Alaska.
Yeah, he was probably in a situation where if he climbed, he'd probably go right into icing and stall and die.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
that guy. A lot of miracles tonight on the show. Yeah.
I got you one better.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to read this. Like, you want to talk impressive, right? These guys probably never left their cruising altitude. But the St. John County Sheriff's Office on February 4th, 2025, just after 7 p.m., so nighttime, which is scary, the SJSO air unit was contacted about an aircraft that lost power 3,000 feet over the St. Johns River. The pilot was wanting to land at a private airfield in the area. However, due to the lack of runway lighting, the pilot could not locate the runway. SJSO pilot KC Kumar and tactical flight officer Stephen Reese responded to the area and made contact with the pilot and the plane, which regained partial power at 1,500 feet. They used the helicopter's spotlight to illuminate the runway so the aircraft could make a safe landing. Emergency personnel responded to assist the ground crew, the crew of the aircraft on the ground. No injuries were reported. As part of the St. John County Sheriff's Office Aviation Unit, our main mission is to positively impact lives and save lives each and every day. As an uncommon mission set like this one, we're extremely happy that no one was harmed and everyone went home safe.
Nice.
So they didn't even use their spotlight.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Oh, Doug has the video of the landing.
Oh,
wow. This is from that.
Losing altitude, lost 200 feet probably in the last 6 minutes. Unable to climb
This is like that. This is the FLIR from the helicopter from the St. John County Sheriff's Office.
9-1, we have a visual on him. We're going to maintain 1,500 directly over the airfield. We'll provide a spotlight on it.
9-1, roger. November 015, we copy that. They have you in sight. They're going to overfly you at 1,500 to shine a spotlight down. Alrighty, sounds good. We're going to be at about 1,200 feet. We'll wait for them. 9-1, they're descending slowly out of 1,200 now.
9-1, roger. We're coming up on the St. Johns River right now.
9-1, are you on 2075?
Affirm, 120.75.
November 633 Echo Romeo, departure right down, maintain 3,000.
9-1, roger. We have you in sight. We see you. It looks like you're going right downwind toward the runway.
Yes, sir. We will plan on making a landing the second turn if we can get a good visual on the runway.
9-1, roger. You got him? Yep, I've got it on the runway. Okay. Hey, guys, you're going to have to come around to the right more. You're overshooting.
Roger,
Wow.
we're going to turn around right here and it's land 2-3.
Copy. All right. Okay, I got them in sight. They're
Always the skids in the way.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know.
All right, I
That or the-
appreciate the help.
yeah.
Thank you so much. We've landed runway 23 at FL60.
9-1. Aircraft safely on the ground at L60.
And the helicopter that came and helped us. I really appreciate the help. Thank you so much. 79015.
That's cool.
My pleasure. Glad you guys are safe. 9-1 is RTB. All right.
Oh wow. Dang, man.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Mover, is that the same devices you're used to using?
Yeah, ours is pretty good like that too. It's not
Wow.
the same one, but that's ours can read license plates. It's pretty and see faces. It's pretty depending on
That's-
the altitude.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that actually looks like an older pod.
Look at that. Who's driving up to him?
Fire and police.
Oh yeah, yeah. Holy cow. This is the captain speaking. Remain seated.
Yeah.
We're running a checklist.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, I'm not trying to take away from B-52 guys. It's two different stories. It reminded me of this story when, like, dude, taking your spotlight and lighting up the runway.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, and now you're just getting a high five all the fire. There you go.
Oh yeah, look at that, man.
It's awesome.
That is cool.
Now we're
so good job. Story.
Good job for everybody. Good job for this one. Good job for the B-52 guys. All 15 of you. Takes a village.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's
yeah, the summary is the best. It's like, 14 hour no problem. 200 miles off course to help this guy, then back on course to go bomb. Like,
now you're just bragging. Like,
I
really?
know.
I mean, like, did you need that? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Sure. Just say, yep, you're welcome. See you later. I got 14 more hours in this torture chamber.
Man. It's the buff. And I've never really met a happy B-52 pilot, but
JD says, no, we need more 2-a-days. The comedy is multiplied by 2. Honestly, we kind of reenacted that because ammo was inadvertent in IMC in the weather.
Yep.
Spatially disoriented.
Yeah.
I just needed a B-52 to call me.
And ammo, instead of helping, we just booted you out. Go fix it and come back.
I know. No.
Yeah, we don't help here because we don't know.
It's sink or swim in the fighter world.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Get out of the brief and come back when you've got it together. All right,
smarter.
You're interrupting.
Corn.
Yes, with corn.
Yeah. You're out until you're back.
Oh, I love it.
Code Monkey says, when I worked on the F-22 program getting ready for IOC, if someone told me the first F-22 kill would be a balloon, I would have asked, isn't that why we have the F-16? Kidding.
Oof.
Hold on now. Can the F-22 drop the Hades bomb?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Or does it have a second seat to take your dad out of the hostile airfield? No.
Can a teenager fly it? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Ammo fluid. I mean, is that a correlation?
If I could fly it, yeah. Enough hours on DCS, you got it.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Oh, here we go.
That was
real deal.
That was meant to appeal to a certain segment of your audience.
Yes.
A certain segment of the Nuclear Tank says the kid popping balloons is considered a tutorial mission for World War III. Dude. Like they just needed to get rid of that missile. That's what it was. It was a missile about to expire, and they're like, how do we get this balloon down? Let's use the old one.
That's the story I'm going with.
Yeah. Zippers Forever says, and sip fresh coffee all the way. Let's not get too carried away. It's probably stale, but it's coffee.
I'll take it.
Dude, I was on that C-130 and I looked over and it's like, there's an Air Force microwave in the cockpit right to your left. Yeah. Cause you know how I know? Because the other pilot, like the third pilot, I hear ding and he pulls out his lunch, like while we're on this low level. Like,
on the low level. Wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we're doing 100.
You got it right. I'm going to heat up my lunch here.
Yeah. It was the third pilot, the jump seat guy in the middle. Yeah. He wasn't doing anything special.
Well, dude, at C-130 speeds, your mission cross-check time is probably what, like
14 minutes.
I was gonna say, like, it's not seconds, it's minutes, right?
Hey, there's a tower right there. Hey, that same tower is still right there. Hey, that tower I told you about 20 minutes ago, still there.
Yeah, I'll avoid it when I'm done with my sandwich.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
I will turn when I am goddamn good and ready. Blue Rex says everyone has a plan until the clouds close in. Mike Tyson.
There it is, man.
There it is.
Took you long enough.
Rastern says several years back in Australia, mate, had one of our now retired MRH-90s land in the long grass for a crew PP with a hot light on underneath and set off a major brush fire that destroyed hundreds of square kilometers, which is probably like 50s of miles.
But that's still a lot.
Yeah.
That's still a lot.
Yeah. but it sounds cooler if you say it in metric. JD says that was awesome that the PD airship could help the trouble plane land, but can't find my suspect when he's hiding in the bush.
Ooh.
Ouch. Ouch.
Oh, man.
Maybe St. John. Maybe if you flew for St. John, they could. Navman says, I want to see one conky 3-wire trap. Expect none. Expect none, dude.
You know what, dude? If he's talking about Gonky, which I'm sure he is, that's very true, valid. That dude, why pass up a good wire? The one is a good wire.
If you ain't first, you're last.
100%, man.
Yeah. Lisa says several good news stories this week. Thank you for covering.
Welcome, Lisa.
Oh, Fryer from Skid.
Skid. What up? So Fryer was my call sign in the two Fittis.
Two Fitties.
Yeah.
That was
Are
his,
they? Do they exist now?
No, as far as I know, they were stood down when they left Eglin. There's something else now. Are they still the 71st at Langley? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah. Hannah says, nothing exciting to share, just saying thank you. I laughed a lot tonight. Your humor is on point.
Thanks, Hannah.
It's been a struggle bus.
It's fine, dude.
Ask me about it.
No, dude. The beauty's in the struggle, man.
National Police Association for the Luna Treats Fund.
Whoa! Nice.
Thank you.
And the race car. Right on
look how Mover just
which
weaves
Luna
that in.
will eat the treats in the race car.
Correct.
Yeah, the race car. Jason says, you guys with F-16 versus F-22. Meanwhile, Moab. All in kidding.
Something about the mother of all bombs?
Yeah, you can throw it out the back of a C-130. He's basically saying that we have small weapons compared to what a C-130 can do.
Valid.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
As long as I'm only flying a 1.8, I don't care what
The enemy will be able to move their entire target out of the way of the C-130 by the time it takes to get
3 hours on that thing, and I'm like, I feel like a hostage right now.
Yeah,
ready to get off.
I mean, battleships have large guns, but I'd rather be in a fighter.
Yeah, speedboat
with one LGB.
Yeah,
it's like,
look, dude, like if you said, "Hey, you can drop a Moab out of a C-130 or an SDB out of a Raptor."
Oh, dude, yeah. Because here's the thing: after you drop the Moab, the coolness kind of throttles
What is
back
the
a
safe
little.
escape maneuver for a Moab from a C-130?
Pray.
Because you're not like
pray.
You can't do like a turn maneuver level turn, because you're still there. Like you're just flying over the thing. You can't do a
for
climbing
sure,
safe escape.
The egress flow point has to be exactly straight. There can be no you
Unload.
can't come back.
You have to unload to get.
Because by the time it hits the ground, you will be exactly over the detonation point.
If you got a strong headwind, you're screwed.
You're screwed, dude.
Yeah. Wow. Sorry, we love our C-130.
Well, yeah, we do.
We got ammo. We got to show off to the Raptor guy.
Yeah.
You know, we spent some time with a German fighter pilot, so we're kind of feeling like,
yeah,
a little uppity,
Yeah, pretty much, man.
So we're back to that one. Erkman says, glad to hear a good military aviation story in Alaska. The crash recovery trailer is still at Eielson, but Fat Amy is flying again. Well, it's not that Fat Amy.
Yeah, that one's Flat Amy.
Hey, did you see the Raptor? So the one that they sucked the gear up,
it's flying.
Top Gun, they put it back together. Franken Raptor.
Oh, it's finally flying again?
And it's finally flying. They showed it. They didn't, for whatever reason, they didn't paint it to show that it was still like cobbled back together.
Okay.
But it is good to go.
Dude, how many years ago was that?
Oh, God. Probably 2020, 2019.
I'm going with 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
Somewhere around then. Because I remember in the whole community, like we had to do like a special briefing every single day on factors that contributed to that mishap so that none of us would repeat that ever.
Make sure you are flying before putting the wheels up. Copy.
The CW Lemoyne channel covered
Yes.
this on May 5th, 2020.
But how long ago did it happen? Was it real-time news or was it
April 22, 2020 is when the AIB report came out.
So yeah, and that takes what, 2 years or so?
Hold on, I'm doing some clicking. Your connection's not private. Well, I
That's
trust
pretty-
the Jag. Access is denied. Oh, they blocked it after I covered it. Figures.
That's pretty wild though that it took that long to fix the
All of my sources have been removed. That video's got 1 million views, Gonky.
Yeah. But it
Yeah.
surprised me, man. It took that long just
Yeah.
for, I mean, it's not like it balled up or nothing, right? You just skidded across the runway and
For a mile.
Yeah.
but dude, I mean, it's I don't
Check
know.
the private chat.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was
The
surprised.
voice of God. Well, no, that's when I made the video, Doug.
Yeah.
But when did the incident happen?
Okay, that doesn't sound right then, because that's when they said the incident happened.
Well, no, I made the
Right,
video
maybe.
in 2020. So it probably happened. I mean, you figure a year. Oh, here you go. Right here. Found it. 2018.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Camo's
April
close.
13th,
All right.
2018.
You guys are scaring me. Thinking I'm out to lunch here. All right.
Maybe Emma has catch-up brain too.
I mean,
It's a
after
real
all
thing.
of that, after all those maneuvers I just
That's
did
right.
earlier in the podcast, I
That's
mean,
right, dude.
I'm apt to not have a few brain connections working now. So.
I love it.
It's okay. You're now no worse than we are. Hammerby says, I love that the pilots that had to wear diapers as part of their uniform make fun of those that don't.
Who has to wear diapers?
Astronauts?
Maybe like SR-71 or YouTube guy. Or
I think
YouTube?
the U2 guys have to.
Well,
Where?
he's given us North Korea at $50. So, and maybe in North Korea they wear diapers?
I don't
That wouldn't
know.
surprise me.
At some point, we're probably all going to be wearing diapers, but
Yeah, but not as part of our uniform.
no.
I don't know what you're talking about, but never
Yeah.
wore diapers.
Never wore a diaper.
No.
I mean, like when I was a baby. Like, I mean, I can't say never.
Nah.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
then people are going to fact check me.
I know.
like,
Yeah.
Mover
Yep.
lies.
I'm gonna
He
get that.
says he's never worn diapers,
I
but
skipped that part.
Claims it's
we-
a news channel.
I'm going to
Yeah,
have community
yes.
notes. Yeah, community notes.
Yep.
Just a plain motorcycle rider says, ex-Lodi RAAF, we consider the microwave on the J a downgrade. H model had a proper oven. You could cook muffins, roast chicken, 10-hour legs. The good old days.
Well,
Looky there, dude. Yeah. Well,
whatever, dude. Don't put all these numbers in it. The Hamnetics guy. An F-22 is sexy, but now we're asking if it's C-130 sexy.
well, it depends on what you're into.
sure, from a certain point of view. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, you want to just go to the mental health minute now, Gonky, or did you want to talk about the other stuff?
No, we can do the mental health, man. It's actually pretty good, right?
Probably. Doug had the other thing queued up.
I mean, I say that, but
Which other thing?
Do we want to show, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the video or do you want to just talk about it? What
It's
do
a
you think?
longish. It's a pretty long video.
yeah, I say we just talk about
We
it.
could do the intro.
I
I mean, we could. Hold on. Let me
it's
find
over
it.
to you, man.
Let's just do the intro, at least, because we got to give her credit, and
Yeah.
all that. You gotta
Yeah.
gotta talk about that. So hold on, let me share the screen. Forgive our put togetherness. So here we are. So let us hope this works. So if you go to YouTube, there's a YouTuber, and this is our mental health minute, Zyla Foxland. A lot of people have shared this with me because I've talked about mental health and aviation quite a bit. I mean, that's kind of what we do every episode. And this YouTuber, I'll let the introduction go, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Something as simple as going to therapy can ground a pilot for anywhere from 6 months to the rest of their career. So the next time you step foot on a commercial flight, please remember that there's more than a 50% chance that the person flying your airplane has avoided seeking any necessary mental health care. Most pilots are afraid to speak up because they rely on flying as their livelihood, but I don't. And that's why I'm able to share the story that you're about to hear. Dear Zyla Foxland, On weekends, we have received and reviewed your psychiatric and psychological evaluations in their entirety. It is with great regret that we inform you that after careful evaluation of these reports, we have determined that you do not meet the medical standards prescribed in Title 14. It is with great regret.
Okay. So, long story short, she had some other health issues that caused her to not feel like herself for a long time. And then she sought treatment, but her doctor said, hey, for the psychological side, I'm going to give you a diagnosis. And she made a video about that, about coming out the other side and feeling better and all that stuff. Unfortunately, a YouTube commenter, which I've always talked about, YouTube comments can be toxic, saw that video and said, sorry, those FAA rules are there for a reason. You shouldn't be flying. Sorry, but I've reported this video to them, mentioning both the attempt to personally manipulate the doctors in order to circumvent the FAA, and based on the video, the clear mental health problems. I also mentioned that you decided to fly a bunch during this crisis because of sudden emotional instability and what seems like mania. Now, granted, by the time she made this video, she had said everything was clear and she was back to her normal self. She was telling it on the backside of this. The FAA rules are written in blood, and you shouldn't be so arrogant to think you're special and immune to them, he says. I've downloaded the video in case you remove it. And then I think she says a couple months later, she gets a letter from the FAA requesting a whole bunch of stuff. And then from there, the FAA then said, hey, you need to do a psychological evaluation. And then she got the rejection notice that was in the intro. I wanted to bring that up because I just talked to a squadron about this, and in fact, I'm probably going to talk about it at Verticon. I have talked very candidly about stuff that I've gone through on this channel, on my channel. We've talked about it in depth, right? And I have been an advocate of pilots and even people, non-pilots, going and getting the help they need for whatever they're dealing with, because I think it's very important. You want to, the part of the I'm safe checklist is mental health. Like the before you ever go fly, mental health is like one of the, did I rest? Am I well fed? And is my mental health, can I go? Am I fit to fly? And what happened here, I'm not go check out her video. I'm not taking away anything that she said, although I do disagree with the intro a little bit in that, 50, one out of every three or however many are dealing with undiagnosed stuff, because I don't think that's it. And I hope that's not the case, but I am an advocate for, there are ways that you can get help, maintain your medical, and the FAA is fine with it. And I've talked about this in the squadron. I was talking, Sean Cross actually asked me to speak at the safety meeting yesterday in for the pilots of the 403rd. And one of the things I've talked about is when I went through some stuff in the T-38, I believed that if I spoke up, my career would be over. And I didn't know. Like, I think there's a lot of, we just don't know. And the civilian medical practitioners don't know, combined with something that may be an archaic system in the federal government and how the FAA looks at these black and white diagnoses. So what I discovered when I was, saying, hey, look, I need a timeout to assess this, because I grounded myself. I said, I'm not going to fly till I figure out what's going on. And I stared the possibility that I'd never fly again right in the face, because I was like, I don't know if I want to fly. And for me, what I discovered is the difference between non-medical counseling and psychiatric diagnosis, because that is a huge distinction. And I think a lot of people don't understand it. And it applies to security clearances too, because, when you fill out your SF-86 and the military guys, we always look at that. We're like, look, if I go to get counseling, I am done. Like, right. It says it right here. Have I gotten anything for depressive disorder or anything like that? But at least on the military side and even the civilian world, there is two paths. There's medical counseling, which is diagnosis, depressive disorders, something that becomes a disorder, and gets you a diagnosis and gets a diagnosis code, and sometimes has medicine associated with that, which the medicine is often what gets people, like use of a certain med that can be associated with this. That always ends up being a problem in special issuances and stuff like that. But for me, and in the squadron life, we had military family life counseling. At our squadron at the 403rd Wing, we have a director of psychological health. And those counseling sessions are considered non-medical counseling. And what does that mean? That means that you go talk to them, and as long as what you talk to them about doesn't rise to the level of hurting somebody else, hurting yourself, or becoming something that they have to go, look, I can't deal with this, I have to refer you outside to somebody who can diagnose you, it is no harm, no foul. And a lot of stuff that we deal with on a daily basis, like for me, it was 2021. I had been through a lot with COVID. We were trying to do a lot of stuff externally. There were a lot of external factors that I had to unpack that I was like, oh yeah, it wasn't the airplane. It was my cup runneth over because I just put too much on myself at one time. And so because of that, because I was able to work with somebody and there was no threat of my career, I got through it, went back to flying. Life was good. I'm here to talk about it now. I'm here to say I did the right thing because I didn't keep flying when I was not fit to fly, but I was able to work through it. And that's it. Other than me talking about it, that's as far as it ever went. And a lot of people have those resources available, but the threat, and I think where the FAA needs to get better at this, is we need to learn how to navigate it. Because there's a huge difference between German wings, where a guy, took a passenger plane full of people and put them in the side of a mountain, versus a pilot that just was sad one day and wanted to talk to somebody. And we have to know those resources and because airlines, for example, airlines have this ability too. Every airline that I know of has a pilot support program that is the exact same thing, that you can pick up the phone and go, hey man, I'm just having a bad day. Can you talk to me? And that's non-medical counseling. That is what it is designed for. The FAA supports it. And it is not pilots with undiagnosed procedure or psychological problems. It is people helping people, because we can't just keep it all inside. We can't compartmentalize everything, because eventually it's going to run over and it's going to manifest in something else. And then you're going to have a bigger issue. So that's why every episode I talk about use the resources available. Military One Source, you get 12 free counseling sessions if you're military, as long as it's not a diagnosable condition that they need to send you off for. You can go 988, Veteran Crisis Helpline. I mean, if it gets to that point, 911, who cares about a diagnosis? Because you need to save your life. Don't be one of the 22 veteran suicides a day. But I feel for what she's going through, because I do think it's an antiquated system. And I think it is nonsense that, you're guilty until proven innocent, or that a YouTube commenter can be that toxic and report that they took that seriously, versus, allowing her to be the one to make that decision, that they let a commenter report her. But I think also we need to tell pilots that, hey, it is okay to get help, but you just got to be careful how you do it. Gonky, what do you got, man?
Yeah, man, you covered it pretty thoroughly. I mean, I'm just disgusted that there's people out there that feel that they can just be, just basically, hey, I'm going to take this and turn you in, report you. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, I just don't think it's whoever did that their place to do that. I understand the intention, but very poor execution. There's other ways you could have handled that, dude. And it's not the first time we've seen where YouTube commenters who think they know everything, Sky Gods reporting, have turned in, we mentioned before, Premier One driver, I think, right? He wasn't quite clear the runway, switched to ground. Oh, that's a violation. I'm going to turn you in the FAA, right? I mean, dude, and even you and I expose ourselves to, because we do the show live, right? We say things, we smoke and joke. It's just sad that that's the world we live in right now, where those people are out there. One of the many reasons why I don't read the comments, because I don't care. But with the mental health side of it, man, and I just, the FAA, in government, you cannot write one policy if you're doing government and medical stuff, you cannot write one policy to satisfy all medical conditions and needs, right? I mean, like you illustrated it well, Mover. The guy that crashes an A320 into a mountain had mental issues. a mother or father who just lost a child or something is going to have mental issues for a short amount of time with proper, therapy and care. And if they're in a good church, if they're in, if they're into their faith and stuff, they'll get through it and they'll be back to normal. There's a lot of what ifs, and it takes me back to, and unfortunately my parents are getting older. My wife's parents are getting older, and we see it now. Healthcare, at least in the United States, is not driven by healthcare. It's driven by insurance companies. And if we could get, and my dad used to tell me this, man, when my dad was a kid, the doctor in town would come to your house, have a conversation with you and your family, figure out the best course of action and take that action. And I just kind of wish, I don't know how to do it. I'm just a dumb fighter pilot, but I think it needs to go back to that, because individual healthcare, including mental health, is the best course of action to get you well again. And it's also the best course of action if a diagnosis is even needed, right? I mean, you're just going through a tough, I've known people who've gone through divorces, man. I mean, mentally they're under stress and things are tired, right? And I mean, they're not quite right. Doesn't mean they're crazy, right? Or dangerous. And a lot of times they take themselves off the flight schedule, kind of stuff. So I think also we touched on it a little bit the other week about one mistake and you lose your license. Well, on the safety side of things, self-reporting is good. And I think with mental health, self-reporting is good. If you are dealing with something and you need some help, you should get that help. And then it gets fixed and you're back to normal. But you let it stew, it festers, and then it could lead to worse things, right? So you don't want to have this culture of we just keep secrets around here, right? That's not good. That's not healthy for anybody. It's definitely not safe for anybody. So I really think the FAA needs to go back to a much more, hey, it's going to be not a one policy blanket thing, because the FAA, they'll allow people to fly with, in my opinion, mental conditions, taking lots of meds, right? And that's just not right. But it needs to go. They can't write policy that covers everybody. And the last thing I'll say, and you touched on it, is the airlines do have, in my opinion, very good avenues available. And a good example of that, I think, is with alcoholism, which in my opinion, alcoholism is a result of mental health issues a lot of times, right? I mean, right back in the day, unfortunately, a lot of vets come back from war were alcoholics, because that's just how they dealt with the mental stress, right? And strain of things. So, and in the airlines, if you struggle with alcohol, they have the HEMS program. They have all kinds of stuff to keep you flying. If you fess up, hey, I have a problem, please help me. So I think they're capable and willing to, explore different types of programs, for mental health. And I think it really needs to be done, man, because you just, you're talking about somebody's passion, and then maybe even the way they put food on the table for their families. And mental health is an issue. We've had incidents that, the guy pulling the fire handles, right? I mean, because he's dealing with stuff. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And it'd just be nice to have discovered these issues via self-reporting, get them help before it happens. But I'm done. Ammo, what do you got, man?
Well, the good news is that the FAA recognizes that this is something that needs to change and needs to get better, but it's going to take time. We're nowhere near where we need to be, at least on the medical side on the FAA, in recognizing that there's people that need help and giving them avenues to get that help without permanently grounding them. I do know that we're at a point where, yes, you can, I just to backtrack a few steps here, I totally agree with what Mover said, that if this is something that you're just having a bad day or bad week or going through something that's a rough patch in life, get that non-medical help and counseling. Can confirm, yep, the airlines have great support networks. In the military, Mover mentioned them all, go that route. But yeah, if this is something that you just can't shake this off and you're just depressed all the time, this is seriously affecting your life, don't let the fear of losing your medical stop you from getting the help you need. The FAA right now has avenues to get you back and get your medical back. It was mentioned that, yeah, full up alcoholics who have had to go to Alcoholics Anonymous and go to recovery programs. They have their medicals back. There's multiple instances of this now. So same thing, we're getting to that point with mental health. It's going to take time. There's got to be reform that continually happens. But bottom line, get the help you need, whether it's non-medical or medical. And if you're one that doesn't need help, keep an eye out on your family, your friends. There's those that guarantee you, and everyone listening here, there's somebody in your circle, in your network that needs that help. And you may be the only one that takes the time, has the care to notice, hey, are you doing all right? You just don't seem yourself today. And just that might be what is needed for that person to open up, because you're the only one who's shown the care and the empathy for that person. So whether you're going through something or not, be that wingman.
Doug?
This is a great but tough topic. I wanted to mention something from watching Zyla's video, that she made a point about coming forward as an advocate for people who fly for a living, because she doesn't fly for a living, because her YouTube channel is doing well enough that she could take the risk. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Gonky and I guess a couple of the other two guys mentioned it too, that self-reporting is a really big deal in these kind of situations. I don't have direct experience with it in aviation, but a while back I was privileged to have a professor who was a police psychologist, and he was talking about the complete lack of self-reporting in police agencies. He worked with a couple of Metro SWAT teams, and he said they weren't self-reporting. They just wouldn't do it because it was a macho culture and they didn't want to look weak. And I don't know if this is relevant, you guys can tell me, but what he did for the departments he worked for was he made mandatory reports after certain types of incidents, which is pretty common in law enforcement now. A certain thing happens, you're involved in a shooting. Mover, I think a lot of that stuff applies to your department, where you have to go and talk to somebody. And he said that fixed the whole thing, right? That they would have to come in. They'd tell their buddies, yeah, I'm fine. I don't have, but the brass says I got to go. And then they go into his office and cry like babies. And, it worked really, really well and really, really helped things out. So the FAA could take a page from other institutions here.
Nice.
Yeah, Doug, it reminds me of like Ready or Not, the game, where your team, you suck, so your team ends up in counseling, so you have to get new team members.
That was my buddy's job.
Yeah. But, that happened. I mean, I was on a scene, a murder-suicide, and when we walked out of there was an employee support group like standing at the, where the yellow tape was, and you couldn't leave until you talked to them, and it's like, hey, what'd you see? Are you okay? Do you need this? Here's the resource. Here's my card. If in 24 hours you change your mind, 48 hours, there's no time limit, you get this free counseling if you need it. So they are doing that on the law enforcement side, at least in my agency. But, the thing I think that, Ammo brought up a good point is that it's more important for you to be okay than it is for you to not address it, because the longer you don't address it, the longer it will fester. I mean, for me, like when I was talking to the military family life counselor, I mean, we were unpacking stuff from when my mom died when I was 12. It's some of that stuff was forgiveness for her dying. I mean, and that was almost 25 years ago at the time. I mean, it was a long time ago, and it is stuff that if you don't address within a reasonable amount of time, it doesn't just go away. You're just pushing it down, and eventually it may come up because you run out of space. You got a limited amount of space in that hard drive, and eventually it does become a problem. So the more we're open about this, and the more that, we encourage people to go talk and get help, I think the better off we'll all be. I know, my airline, the contract now actually has disability for mental health, which it didn't previously have. So, if you get grounded, or, you say, hey, look, I need time to work through this, you're still going to get a paycheck, because you have the disability, versus before it didn't even exist. It wasn't something that was common. So the resources are there. It's more important to be okay than to put yourself in that situation. And like for me, it wasn't a quick process. It wasn't like, hey, a week, 1 week I'm good, next week I'm not, the next week I'm good. You know, it was it's peaks and valleys. You know, it's I'm good, I'm a little less good, I'm better, I'm a little less good, and you work through that. And as long as, you know, you're not an immediate threat, everybody's okay with that. You know, I mean, it's, you know, yeah, it's going to be unpleasant, but the goal is to make it pleasant, you know, by the end, so that, you know, by the time you do your Finny flight with Gonky, you're like, man, I can't believe this was ever an issue. I can't believe I ever hated this, you know. But good stuff all the way around. We got some comments. Navman says best jets ever built, EA6, A6, A10. John JD says we envisage. Help me out, Doug. Envisage.
Envisage.
Imagine.
Okay.
Okay.
A European term.
Yeah, I don't speak metric. A
Dude.
society in which mental health problems are an acceptable and in some ways valued part of human experience. Slades. Look, dude, he did an MLA citation.
Dang.
That's APA.
Decompression mechanisms.
Come
It's
on,
what?
mover. It's APA, bro.
Sorry.
I feel like I'm in PME.
Right.
Yeah. That man said, veterans, please, if it's bad, please make the call. I don't want to lose you. Sadly, YouTube will not allow me the link, but yeah, veteran crisis support. As a veteran, you get Military One Source. You get 12 free sessions per year. So definitely, and it can be virtual. It doesn't have to be in person. Zippers Forever says she's been doxxed many times going back to 2017. People are just jealous haters. Dylan says, could you guys get a Marine TAC Air pilot on? Love the show. We had special.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Special with special.
Very special.
Irene says emergency services still need a lot of help with stress debriefing. A lot of people to say they aren't okay. What's the saying? It's okay to not be okay.
Yep.
You know, I mean, we can't all be golden retrievers. It's the ones you got to watch.
The golden retrievers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a show. And I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
Ammo.
Thanks.
Thank
man.
you
Good stuff. Thanks for
For
having me
your-
again.
for your appearances.
Multiple appearances.
Your
Mini
dynamic
air smoke.
maneuvering was eye-watering today.
Yeah. You're the first to go post stall in the middle. I mean, leave it to a Raptor guy to be knife edge halfway through. But
That was thrust vectoring there.
That's a demo
Yep.
of his
Yep.
capability.
demo clean. Gonky,
Yeah, man.
what's next, man? You gonna be a bearded bum for the rest of your life?
I don't know, man. I go in on Friday and I don't this procedure seems to not have worked. So I can't I limp around. I can't fly. I can't.
Dude, that sucks.
Yeah, it stinks, man. I can't ride motorcycles. It's the little things when you lose your mobility, man. I'm
Which leg?
right leg.
Oh man,
Like
so
my
you
daughter, you know, she's little. She's like, she runs up to me screaming, "Daddy wants a hug," and like I can barely bend down to pick her up, kind of. So that's the little things like that irritate me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so we gotta get her fixed. We'll get her fixed. I'll be back to normal.
I'll be at Verticon speaking on this very topic, the mental health stuff, on Wednesday. So I've got
Yeah.
15 minutes of space to fill. I hope I don't screw it up.
Dude, easy. 15 minutes, easy peasy.
Yeah, I need to go to the Sean Cross School of Speaking.
Emma, we asked Sean one question, and 2 hours later, it was like,
Yeah, 2
and
hours.
that's all I have to say about that. We were like,
Yeah. Okay.
nice.
All right. So thanks. He's awesome. He's
He
so
is awesome.
cool.
He's a great dude.
And Ammo, we've appreciated you being. Oh, a couple super chats real quick. Zippers Forever says, in a world of golden retrievers, be the Malinois.
Okay.
Wicked Spider Black. Round 3, Twitch, ready or not? No, there's no round 3. I have to go to bed. I have to
He
catch
wants
flight
us to
tomorrow.
stream an after party.
I know. There's no round 3. I got to go to bed. Doug, as always, we appreciate your service.
Yeah.
Thank you
Doug,
too.
Thanks. Ammo, dude. Thanks, man. It's always good to have you on, man. I'm sorry we couldn't make it work the past couple times, but it's good to have you on.
It's more my fault than you all's fault. So.
It's fine. It's
Awesome.
fine. We'll get you a mic and you'll be all set.
Yeah. Get those Brits making fun of my American mic.
I love it.
Come on, Britain. Send me your finest. Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See you
Have a
next
good night.
week.
Night,
ya.
folks.